BJ Nix, are you here?
Present.
Present. Spoonie, Timothy Spoonie.
Present, sir.
Margaret and Mary. Do we have a Margaret and Mary?
Yes. Cool. And the margaritas.
All right. Class here. We're ready. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
This is the time to line up behind your team, to support your team. Have faith in that team.
You know, it's peaks and valleys. You know, it can't always be good. And as I always tell people, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. But when we do know about
house call, Trevon Diggs pick six. It's coming. They see it. Knocked away. Oh, Gregory. Hurts in trouble. 3 Cowboys wrap him up, make it 4. Micah Parsons is unblockable.
ladies and gentlemen in the building, y'all know the drill. It's Friday. We just wrapped up the happy hour space on Twitter. And now here we are. It's the Freestyle Friday show. Presented to you by Pick Six Sports. You already know that. But boy, we're being invaded by some good people. We got A to Z in the building tonight. Carter, for the return tour, if you will, Carter, for the return tour. I got Shane Carter in the building. Oh, there it is. Part 2. Of course, he, a little downtime. He's a little sick. But our guy, Mo, a little bit better on this Friday, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. I really wanted to join last week, but now we're here. We're healthy. We might cough here and there, but it shouldn't impact and derail the show as it would have happened last week, probably.
Hey, there it is. And, of course, our guy, friend of the show, Mr. DMV is in the building. DMV, how you doing this Friday, bro?
Hey, man, I'm excited to be here, man. Excited with the panel, man. I just can't wait to talk some football.
That part. And, of course, my consigliere, Professor O. Oh, how's your Friday going, sir?
It's been good, man. I've had a really good day. So work went by really fast, uneventful, nothing crazy happened. Came home, got to spend some time with the kids. It's Felix's last day as a 6-year-old. He turns 7 tomorrow. So hung out with him. We had a good day. It's been a really good Friday.
Let's go, chat, man. Light it up for the 7. We need 7 fire emojis for a 7-year-old because by the time we get out here, it might be midnight. It is what it is. Not to scare nobody. But light it up for our guy turning 7 tomorrow. Look, Mo, I'm already coughing. Maybe you're getting me sick right now. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, it happens through the internet as well, man.
Yeah, big facts. Hey, with that being said, I got Steven Torres in the building. Now, Steven, you're on Facebook. We appreciate you being on Facebook. Appreciate you supporting. Here's what I can guarantee you. If you look down there, scrolling across the bottom, it says Pick Six Sports on YouTube. If you come over here and you sub right here, right now, and then you comment, I just subbed, man, we're going to light up the chat for you, man. Come on over here to this YouTube side and make it do what it do. I got Jack Meekers in the building. Gregory's in the building. Oh, look, boom. And he even hit you with it. DMV says, long time no see.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I did an earlier show today because I knew I was going to go out. But then I was like, nah, I got to stay around for the boys, man. I got to stay around. That is until, one of the ladies pops by. Then.
Also, he back with A to Z in the house. Shout out to A to Z Sports in the building. Hold on. TC. Oh, we got the birthday joints hitting right now. We got the birthday joints. Wow. Toxic Tom said, when I was 7, my dad told me to get a job.
I got something similar when I was 7, I think.
Yeah, okay. Fair. But most is I've been working all my life. There's a song there, right? All my life. I've been grinding all my life, man. The marathon continues.
I thought you were going to Casey JoJo for a sec. I thought you were
No.
That was a good song.
What was a great song.
That was like the official 6th grade slow dance song when I was in middle school.
was-
That song came on, you're like, let's go.
Hey, we gotta hold it up. Hey, we gotta hold it up.
Back in the 6th grade dances, you got guys on one side, girls on the other. That song came on, and everything.
Everybody meet
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah. That was the song.
Hey, our guy Rich Port Mini Bulls just subbed. Y'all
Let's
know
go,
the drill,
Rich.
man. Light it up.
Hey.
Light it up for Rich real quick. Let's go. Shout out to the Wrench Gang. TC last week came through. Wrench Gang in the building. That's what we call our mods around here. The Wrench Gang.
Hey, what does your kid want for his birthday? What's like the gift he wants?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What is the number one on the list there? Oh,
His list, he wants the new Madden, but I had to explain to him it's not out yet. So I was like, we can pre-order, but you're not going to physically have that. So like on your birthday,
you
just
can
keep
buy.
in mind,
You
you're
can
not
buy.
gonna have that.
Whoa. But you can buy the Ultimate, so you can play it 3 days early, though.
Oh, okay. Well,
But,
he's
yeah.
still not gonna have it today though, because it
That
comes
is
out
true.
on like the 19th or something. So
I don't
he
wanna
also
give
wants an electric scooter, and he wants a Thanos toy that he saw at Walmart, and he wants a Jurassic Park dinosaur. So those are like his 4 big items.
Oh, that's dope, man. It's better than what the kids in my house would want. Everybody in here wants Robux.
Oh, fair. Hey, if you can't find, if there's something on the list you can't find, the things that you listed, I think I got them in stock. Let me know. Hit me up. We can make something happen.
Oh,
I'm
he
about
doesn't
to
know
say-
this yet. So I told you guys when we went to Dallas for training camp, well, not training camp, but the Youth Football Academy back in June. He let everybody there know my favorite player is Bob Hayes, not me. His favorite player is Bob Hayes, which is really cool for a kid to like really
Whoa.
dive into history and have that as his favorite player. So I ordered a custom Bob Hayes jersey in his size. So he doesn't even know about that.
Oh,
Wow.
That's the one I'm
That's
most
awesome.
excited about.
Better?
Yeah,
That's just parenting goals right there.
I know,
That's-
Man,
That's
right?
teaching you guys one thing at a time, So
Yeah.
he has no idea that one's coming, so he's excited. Or he will be excited.
Man, shout out to our girl Emily Ann. She was over there in the space earlier. Says her son's name is also named Felix.
It's a great name.
Bada bing, bada boom.
You know, when I was 7, Madden was out. But I don't want to like give up my age, but when I was 7, you had to get Madden on 64, and it's come a long way since then. But I mean, I think it's kind of dope. That kind of has like skipped generations, and it's still relevant today. That's pretty dope to think about that, because Madden started in the 90s when I'm willing to bet at least, probably not Mo, but maybe like these guys up here we're all like growing up and having. Again, I don't want to give out ages. I ain't snitching like that. But we all remember Madden. We had like half the control and the joystick right here in the middle, and you had to toggle it and the A and B button and stuff.
See, what's
think
cool
that as
about this
long as
Madden
you're
is, I was just gonna say, what's cool about this year's Madden is even if you're not a Madden fan anymore, like I kind of stopped playing it myself, but this year has Madden on it to commemorate him. So this is an edition you're gonna want to buy just for like keepsake purposes.
Good point.
Yeah, I think as long as you're not talking about Tecmo Bowl, you're good.
No, Tecmo was fine. I used to
Hold
love
on,
Tecmo.
NFL Blitz is the game. NFL Blitz is the game.
Hold up. There will be no disrespect to Super Tecmo Bowl NES. We will not do that because I am old and I don't care what Shane's talking about. I'm 44. I don't care. There would be no job man football if not for most like man, you
Tecmo
old
Bowl,
ass
yeah.
cats. I don't know what y'all talking about over here right now. But Super Tecmo Bowl. Low key though, real quick before we get into this actual Cowboys content, I'll pivot the game of video game football. There was in the 16-bit era a Troy Aikman football, and there was also a Emmitt Smith football. Okay.
Oh.
I don't know if anybody played either one of those. The one thing is, first and foremost, Troy Aikman football was better. The one thing that Troy Aikman football did on the Super Nintendo in particular, I played some on the Sega as well, is this. It actually was the first game ever, video game wise, obviously, that introduced the toe drag swag, where they would, if you threw the ball, they would drag their feet on the sideline to get 2 feet in to catch it. So a little bit of knowledge from you guys because I'm old as hell. So there's that.
That's awesome.
I never played.
That's
but I-
awesome.
I
The
knew
one
we
that
had
I
it.
the one that I remember the most is the one that was called aside from Madden games, I don't remember the name, but it was like an old-time football video game in which you build your team around NFL legends. So you could get like Dan Marino paired with Jerry Rice or Michael Irvin and names like that. And then they would have these rankings, like there would be some gold players, some silver players, bronze players. I don't remember the name, but I had so much fun with that game. And the teams were fictional, right? So you would get
You got the cards, right?
fictional names and cities.
Hey Mo, would you get the cards? You could, and then you could activate the cards and draft them. Is that what it was, or you could sign them, or something like that?
No, I don't remember the cards.
Okay,
No, it was
fair.
it
I'm
was
trying to think
something
what game
different, but
that
I don't
is.
remember the name though. I will try to find it somewhere.
Okay, well,
Nick,
guess what? Moving forward, I'm gonna press you in your DMs about that so I can see what it is. Yeah, go ahead, DMV.
Yeah, for sure.
wasn't there an NFL quarterbacks club game at one point too?
Sure, yeah. And the more you hit the
Quarterbacks club
quarterback,
game?
yeah. And I didn't mean to add myself
two
there. I was trying. Yeah. Two. Call me two
This
chains.
is next level. We got the two different camera angles going on.
Yeah. Two chains. No,
Yeah, it was
I
good,
just
bro.
had somebody. I had somebody possibly saying they're trying to try to get it here, and I had to get them the link. I'm sorry, but no. Quarterback club. Yes, quarterback club was there for sure. And the more that you would hit the quarterback, they had the quarterback competition that you used to do back in the day, but they also had in the game, the more that you would hit the quarterback, the more they would like not be able to throw the ball well, or they would like run slower, like different things would happen. So yeah, it's been an
That's
interesting ride. It's a very interesting ride of video game football in general. But with that being said, see, we're a bunch of friends over here talking about some video game football and different things, and these people in here are like, okay, guys, that's not why we're here. It's not why we're here, but that's okay. I mean, you're along for the ride. Hey, and don't sleep on NFL Street.
NFL
That
Street
is a
was
good one.
it.
That was, and unfortunately, backstory to that, because if you go to the 360 and PS3, they did NFL Tour. It was kind of NFL Street-esque, but with just like in a random ass field in a random ass stadium that was a
Okay.
dome, because the NFL told EA, hey, we don't like what you're projecting for our players, so you got to dial it down some. And that's why NFL Street ended up dying. Same thing with Blitz as well. That's why Blitz split off and did their own thing with Lawrence Taylor and Bill Romanowski. But the NFL has their hands in everything and said, hey, guess what? Y'all ain't making these games and making us look bad. So neither here nor there.
This
With
is one of
that
those.
being,
Tell
go
us
ahead.
you own a video game store without telling us you own a video game store. Because Nick has like the chronology of all of the games, and he was like, and then 1993 came around, and there was 4 different games out. I just wonder what this feature. He's like our
Wait, but
historian.
Nick, do
everything,
you
man.
like? Do
Yeah,
you
he
have
does.
a video game store? Because if so, that is insane, man. That is amazing.
Well, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, here August 23rd will be 13 years for us.
Nuts.
Which is awesome. But here's the thing: I knew all this is off the strength of what I played, though. Well, rented maybe per se. I really couldn't afford to buy games, but I knew this from the NFL standpoint and whatnot, because the number one game there towards the end of things was NFL '95 with Deion Sanders on the cover. And the thing that I remember the most about it was a great
That
game
game
in
was
general.
so good. That game
And
was so
yes,
good.
you could press buttons pre-snap and talk so much trash, but it was like a sim in every. Oh man, it was crazy.
The music to
crazy.
that game was.
It was crazy.
The
TC,
team
I
was
did
good.
not work at Blockbuster, but I spent time and rented from Blockbuster. Okay, just to be clear. And of course, I see some 2K5s. RIP to that one. And remember, 2K5 came out 05. That, and of course, you had Eagles T.O. on the cover for NFL 2K5 or ESPN 2K5, I guess is what it was called at the time. And for Madden, it was our guy Ray Lewis, but it was the year that the license was up. They were going to give it to one or the other, and that's why the basketball and the football game from 2K came out at $20 retail, brand new at the time. I think people forget about that. And to this day,
$39.99 at the time too.
yeah. And to this day, man, it was really good. Like, I still own a copy. I could go over here and grab a copy. It's like, this 2K5 is still good. I play it from time to
I
time.
still got mine too. I still got it.
I probably got mine somewhere. I know I didn't throw it away.
Yeah, that part. Hey, shout out to shout to Octavio. Hey, appreciate you on Facebook. By all means, on the bottom there, Pick Six Sports YouTube. Come over here, hit the sub. Tell us on the YouTube side that you subbed, and we're going to live the chat for you. But enough of that. Okay. Fun times. Video games. Who's playing Madden this year, by the way? Anybody playing Madden? Real quick, for the last point on Madden. Who's going to play some Madden this year? Anybody?
Felix.
Yeah, well, obviously Felix. Oh, are you going to play it, though, or is it just Felix?
No, I'm just going to watch him.
Okay.
I'm probably going to do it. I'm acting like
Okay. All right.
I'm probably not getting it. I stopped getting it after Madden 20. That was the year in which I said, you know what, enough is enough. I'm not going to throw my money at EA Sports anymore. But, I have this friend that lives out of town now, and he's on vacation right now because he's still finishing college. So he and I have like a long-standing Madden rivalry. And actually, as soon as this show is over, I'm driving to his house to beat him. We usually have these Cowboys Colts games, so it will be like a preview for the December game.
Okay.
Shane,
are you a gamer? Are we?
No. I saw someone waving in the chat, and I was like, I don't know if you're holding your hand up or you're waving, so I was just, what's up?
That person's buying Madden.
No, they're saying they're buying Madden right now. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were holding your hand like I was buying Madden, they were waving to us or whatever, but. Yeah, I stopped buying Madden back in like 2017 or something like that. The game just stopped like changing. It just kept rolling players over and just changing the names on the jerseys, and that was about it. Yeah. And honestly, I've had more fun covering football than I was playing video games on it.
NCAA though cannot wait.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah,
hopefully
okay.
that's the word.
I'll get that. I have to get that.
Hey,
Mo, if you got live, I'll play you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Well, wait. Well, let me go and crash y'all's dreams right now because EA has found out about what Ultimate Team is. Now think about this for a second. Ultimate Team and how they roll, because they kind of left the dynasty stuff alone. So when you get college football, it's going to be an Ultimate Team. Now imagine how college football can dial into Ultimate Team and bring up all these players that they can bring up throughout the history of college football. So I guess dynasty mode in college, franchise mode in Madden. So I'm really on the fence. I'm ready for it. I still own a copy of NCAA 14. But yeah, I'm scary on that front. But if you're on the next gen systems, Series X or the PS5, Madden has been better for what it's worth. And this year they've made a very big movement when it comes to the dynasty mode. So I have friends that are in Florida and around the way that we actually play because that's a way for us to connect and everything. So yeah, man, I'm a slave to the system. Hey, look, and real quick, Prime 903. If you want to get that work, man, just holler at me. I got you. But I don't mess with the PS5. I'm gonna tell you why. I own a PS5, but I play Madden on Xbox because they build the game on the Xbox and put it around here. This is what it is. Neither here nor there. I ain't gonna start all that. But with that being said, I got Spoony just joined. Spoony,
yes,
doing good this Friday, sir?
Yes, sir. How's everybody going? All right.
Yeah, doing fantastic.
All right.
So let's kick it off here. And before we kick it off here, Greg Sizemore, see you over there on Facebook. Appreciate you, brother. Hit the YouTube link. Come over here, and we'll light it up for you. Training camp's been exciting. A lot of different things have been happening, if you will. I'm going to pivot here because, Shane, you were here last week, and obviously we're the faces that are always here. So let's roll out the red carpet for our guest this week. I'm going to start with our guy, Mo. Coming off of an injury, and let's put him in the paint, coming off of injury and ready to rock. Mo, what's the thing here so far, 2 weeks of camp, that excites you the most?
Oh man, I gotta go with as far as excitement goes, Tyler Smith just silencing everyone so far, because I was skeptical on the Tyler Smith pick. I get it that he's powerful, I get it that he's explosive and all of that, but I just worry about the technique, worry about Dane Brugler using the phrase needs to rebuild his fundamentals from the ground up. So I was concerned. I was gravely concerned, but so far everything that we have heard about Tyler Smith, and you don't care about it until the Pats come on, and that's why mini camp, OTAs, you hear good stuff, but you're like, that's not real football, especially within the trenches. But now that the Pats have come on, Tyler Smith's still getting a lot of praise, and I love that. I love being wrong about a first rounder like that, and so far it does sound like he is, and his blocks are violent. Those highlights that make it into Twitter of him just burying people, those have been fun. That has to be my answer as to what excites me the most.
10-4. And of course, I got DMV joining us on this Friday. Number one thing so far, 2 weeks of camp, that's excited you, man, the most.
something that's really gone under the radar, and that's the game slowing up for Micah Parsons, and you can really start to see it. So that's a scary thing. That excites me the most.
Okay. Now let me spin it around here. Shane, I know we had some different conversations, but we got a whole week from last week to this week. Shane, what's got you got your your blood pumping a little bit?
Well, I said it last week, and I'll say it again this week. I love the depth and the look and the progression of the secondary, the cornerbacks and the safeties overall. I mean, when people look at the secondary, the first names that'll pop out are going to be Trevon Diggs and Jaron Kearse more than likely, but Anthony Brown's having a good camp. Deron Bland's reportedly having a good camp. Marquise Bell and Matthew Lennox's guy is having a real good camp, it sounds like. Malik Hooker has really sort of like seemed to overcome the injury bug a little bit. Jordan Lewis is looking good out there. There's a bunch of young guys like I think one guy, even Mo pointed out on his show, I don't remember when, he pointed out Isaac Taylor Stewart, the kid from USC, the long, tall kid from USC. He's looking pretty good out there. So I'm looking at that, and like it's crazy to me to think about how much of a weakness that was just 2 years ago and where it is now, and how it's become kind of maybe the strength on the team, and just how deep it is. And that's got me excited, especially like just the turnaround that came with it.
It's a Big 10-4. Shout out to our guys, Space in the building. What's going on, Space? I want to address this because I covered this on Space a couple of nights ago. Maybe it was last night. It all runs together at this point. Diggs getting burnt like a sailor pulling into a Liberty port. So let me be clear here real quick. I want to be clear. Now,
it's a funny line, though. I want to give him credit for that. That's actually
it is fair. It is a very funny line. But I just want to be clear, okay? Anytime that any team runs that drill, that one-on-one drill, you have to be certain about things. You have to understand this thing. And it doesn't really matter what level you're on, but we'll speak in this realm. There's no pass rush. There's no bad snap. There's no safety help. There's no linebacker help if you want to bracket somebody. It's literally designed for the offense to win here. What you're doing in these spaces when you run those drills is for the offense to gain confidence, especially the wide receivers. On the backside when it comes to Diggs, because there was within that period, the cornerbacks actually won the first part of the period. Let's be clear. They won the first part of it. The middle and the late half is what happened. And so we're via social media, for the people that are not out there, we get clips here and there, and it's great and it's fine. And then, we're all the way to the day where Diggs is like deactivated or maybe even got rid of his Twitter account or whatnot. And him and Harris had a debate, if you will. He was being coached hard because you go to the semi in general, the semi joint, he was supposed to, jam and rod with him. It didn't pan out the right way. And maybe he had a brain fart, whatever the case may be in that realm. But it's not like Diggs was getting burnt in these scrimmage or game situations. It's a one-on-one drill that is very much so designed for the offense to go out here and win. So, to me, this is much ado about nothing, guys. I understand where, social media kind of takes this to and what's happening and whether it's different teams or national media might go to or whatever the case is. But honestly, it's not. This is a non-news segment to me. But again, I just want to be clear, understand how these drills work and what they mean. And whoever wants to jump in, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll just kind of piggyback off of what you said. So in addition to the quarterback having no pass rush, and what do we always say as fans? The quarterbacks in the NFL will carve you up if you don't get pressure on them. In that drill, there's no pressure. The defensive back has to cover half the field. The wide receiver knows they're in man coverage, which is a huge advantage because in a game, they don't know if it's man or zone until the play starts unless they do some type of pre-snap motion to identify it. So the wide receiver can then adjust the release at the line. And on that play where CeeDee Lamb burned him, he did a hezzy step, which you could do that mid-route in a game scenario, but depending on how much pressure is, you may not be able to do stuff like that to set it up. So a defensive back is going to lose that battle the majority of the time, especially in a one-on-one. If it's something like a hitch route or a curl or comeback, maybe the defensive back will be a little bit more competitive. But when it's any route where the receiver can basically play with the defensive back and test them, you're going to lose. And another thing to factor in too is in a game scenario, quarterbacks have to go through their progressions. They have to read the field. They have to pass rush. They may only get a small glimpse at the receiver, a small opening where they're going to throw it. And in this drill, the quarterback's allowed to stare them down the entire route. So they can pull the trigger as soon as they see an open window that they wouldn't get in a game scenario. So I get that it's fun as fans to exaggerate how big of a deal it is or isn't, but that's something that you got to keep in mind. There's going to be a safety over the top more often than not. You're going to at least have a center fielder, if not a cover two or some type of safety help. You're going to have linebackers, a slot corner, other players on the field that are going to cut down the windows of space that a receiver has to work with. And in that drill, it's just one-on-one. So the receiver can basically toy and do whatever they want. When I was in college, I used to win one-on-ones all the time. And then in games, I still won a little bit, but not as much as I did in one-on-ones because I didn't have the same field to work with. Imagine like in basketball when teams do ISO, the ball handler a lot of times is going to get to the rim or get to their shot because they have so much of the court to work with because everybody else moves away to allow that to happen. It's the exact same thing in football. So I'm not really sweating that. I'd be more concerned if the receivers couldn't get separation than I would if the defensive backs get beat in that scenario.
My takeaway from those clips is definitely just on the receiver side, man, CeeDee Lamb is fast. Like maybe we need to give him a little bit more of a speedy guy label as well, because we don't get that as much. We talk about his route running. We talk about a lot of good stuff for CeeDee, but when do you describe CeeDee Lamb as a fast receiver? I don't think we do that a lot, and maybe we should.
It's a good point.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of feel like on the semi play, in my opinion, going back to what Professor O was saying a little bit, when I first saw the clip, I was like, man, that took a long time to develop. I personally think that would have been a sack. If that was a 7-on-7 Skelly situation, I think everybody calls that a sack or they blow the horn or whatnot, personally. So I don't take too much away from one-on-ones like you guys were saying. There's nothing to write home about. Quite frankly, if we look at last year, Diggs was getting beat like a drum in one-on-ones then too. I don't know if you guys remember, but Amari Cooper even joined in after he came back and started beating him with one-on-ones too, and that led to an all-pro year. So, I mean, if he got to get beat by one-on-ones to become an all-pro, I'll take it all day.
Yeah, right. I wanted to mention too, when Shane was talking about defensive backs, a guy that I've been especially hard on just because I didn't see his path to the roster. And to be quite frank, I still don't know where he fits in the cornerback room. But Patrick Nosey, now part of Dallas Cowboys family, has pointed out that Deron Bland has been super sticky. He's not giving up any separation, and he looks really good. That's one of the great things about camp, because you look at film, and to me, he looks stiff. He doesn't look like a super smooth athlete, although I see the size and speed and the trait standpoint. I didn't think his film was really that impressive at all. So when people mention maybe he's a guy that could transition to safety, I kind of bought into that, but then I look at our safety depth, and I'm like, okay, well, where's he fitting there too? But hearing how he's done so far in camp, now 2 weeks in, I'm thinking maybe he does have a shot. Maybe he's going to be a guy that beats out CJ Goodwin and gets that cornerback special teams roster spot, or maybe he's a guy that they see as a hybrid swing corner safety that could play either spot and has more value to the team than what it looked like pre-camp. So he's one of the players I'm more excited about now, for sure, by a large margin than I was back in April for the draft.
Yeah, and No C's like basically what he tweeted today was sticky. Doesn't matter who he's guarding, he's sticky. Things you should like to hear. We kind of led into going into camp, and we were talking about, hey, we're not really sure, and we're not going to talk a whole bunch about what's going to happen with the former second round pick, Kelvin Joseph, right? There's things that are going to happen here a little bit, but where's Nashawn Wright at, who's had a great camp so far? Go great. I want to heap out there. He's had a very solid camp. Last year he was
for sure.
Right, he's trending up. Like last year, he was the kind of the darling in the OTAs and rookie camps, and they got to camp, and then okay, things kind of happened, right? But for Bland, who was kind of the guy lost in the mix, we talked about this in the space before we got over here. It's like, hey, maybe there's something here. So as we've been talking about Houston being the biggest surprise, the second guy for me, I'm right there with you. Bland's probably the second biggest surprise of this camp so far. Which, hey, you know what that means? You gotta start giving Stephen Jones some credit.
Yeah, for sure. For the draft process, I think Cowboys Nation is a little bit used to giving the Jones some credit, at least for the draft process, and of course our guy Will McClay. But Professor O, brought up C.J. Goodwin, and I think that's an interesting name because I love a good old special teamer, right? Like a full-time special teamer. We all do. But as much as you like those players, their roster spots are usually a little bit more at risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and especially when you consider too,
Coyle,
it Jerry or
Coyle's the guy? I think. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even step on your toes. Oh,
no, I was just gonna say Jerry or Steven said they look at Kelvin Joseph as a dynamic special teams guy and compared him directly to CJ Goodwin. So I think Tom mentioned that earlier, saying, well, where does Joseph fit in the room? Maybe that's what they're envisioning him doing this year. And we saw it on Wednesday, or I think Wednesday's practice. He was practicing on the punt return team, blocking the gunner. So that might be what his role is this year, which obviously for a second round pick, it's not what you want, but they see him as a quote unquote dynamic special teams guy. So we just mentioned him and Bland. Goodwin's spot has to be in jeopardy right now, unless he shows his value, because he cost a lot of money being a core special teams guy who that's all that he contributes. He's been good at it, but he's not Matthew Slater for the Patriots good at it. So the older he gets, the more at risk his position becomes.
Right. And again, just to double down what we're talking about here when it comes to Goodwin, Coyle, pay attention. He's got the speed. He can do those things. Coyle, to me, is the guy, like if he walks through that special teams door, they're going to look at the roster. They're going to look at the money. And guess what? Hey, Goodwin, we appreciate you, brother. It's been a good run, but we're going to work with the young buck. On top of whatever Wright can bring to the table. To me, Coyle is the guy there.
And Goodwin is 32 years old.
Facts.
So there's also that.
Big facts. Big facts, Mo. Mo bringing the facts there. Mo said, hey, man, I was sick last week and I'm here and I'm ready. I like it.
Sure, man.
DMV. We kind of talked about some things that we're looking to hear, excited about so far with training camp. One thing coming into camp, maybe you're like, well, I thought it was going to be a little bit better than what it's been so far, DMV, for you.
Really, I think the offensive line battle, and a lot of that has to do with injuries and stuff. Like with Biletsko, I was really looking forward to seeing how he developed in camp, and him, having a setback with the injury, that kind of is like, we're a little bit. I mean, I don't think we're thin at the offensive line. I think there's a lot of solutions we can, kind of lean on in case we need to. But I was really hoping that he'd be healthy.
Yeah. Tip 4, and real quick, just to let everybody know, we're talking. We're coming off the rip. We're talking about different situations when it comes to the Cowboys 2 weeks into camp. But the one thing about Freestyle Friday shows is simply this: it's about us engaging with y'all. And we have, if you're on YouTube, we had the link pinned up to the top. You can easily click that, come up here, ask anybody a question or give a comment on anything that we're talking about. You're more than welcome. We kind of say what we do on the Twitter Spaces, and we bring it over here. But on top of that, if you don't want to click the link and come up, you ask a question like our guy King Shadow did. Said, just tuning in now. How y'all doing? Question. Sorry if y'all covered it. That's fine. It's okay. Thoughts on Dennis Houston? 6'2", 6'3"-ish, sub 4'5". Speed is intriguing to me. Shane, Dennis Houston so far in camp.
Well, I actually looked at his tape a little bit after they picked him up as an undrafted free agent at Western Illinois. He actually had 3, especially the third year, decently productive years at Western Illinois. He's a San Antonio native. For those that didn't know, he has really, really soft hands. He has really, really good hands at the point of the catch. His issue, at least what I saw, was he didn't have a lot of great separation down the field as he does maybe off the line. He's good at creating separation on like a press man. But when it comes to zone and stuff like that, it seems like he has a little harder time getting open. He's good at like one-on-one situations, like if he's like tightly covered and the quarterback just throws him the ball, he has that ability, and it seems like that's what he's showing in camp. But obviously in the NFL, you're going to face off a lot of corners that will be a lot better those one-on-one balls, and so I think if he's displaying the ability of him to have that those soft hands in training camp, he's able to catch it regardless of coverage. That's probably going to give him an edge, especially in a relatively weak room at receiver, because by all accounts, and Kyle Young was brought up last week, he's having a really solid camper. At the very least, he's like middling out from where he was at OTAs. I know, I think Matt, you were the one who brought him up last week as like a guy that was kind of a guy to watch. And when I saw his tape first, he didn't really jump out, but he just kind of does like the small things right as a receiver. He's measured at about 6'2". Y'all can correct me if you know this or not. He's about 6'2", 205, so he's got a decent size. I believe it was his pro day. He tested at 4.51. And to think, like, aside from like downfield separation, one of the bigger issues that he had also was he wasn't the greatest run blockers, which in this offense is probably going to be it might be an issue. But that's one of those things that you can get over and you can develop on if you have the receiving ability.
And of course, the size and the speed the Cowboys have inside a wide receiver, he checks all the boxes, is what he does. Real quick, Jermaine, I got this question coming up next, but we do have a guest. We have a guest who wants to chime in. Our guy Space Cowboys in the building. Space.
What's going on, fellas? How we doing, guys?
We're doing just fine. We're doing some due diligence over here on Friday
There you go.
night.
That's what I'm talking about.
I knew you would like that, Space. Hopefully your weekend's on deck. Hope everything's going fine and fantastic for you.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming through, brother.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Right here, my guy Chop, Mr. T99 on Fridays. Y'all follow him on Facebook, by the way. Hilarious stuff. DMV, his question is, how's Tyler Smith doing? I haven't been keeping up as of late. DMV, well, where do you think Tyler Smith 2 weeks into camp is at?
All right, so I got to say a disclaimer before I answer this question. I got to get ready to go after this question.
I know that's why I gave you the question.
Yeah, definitely. Man, Tyler Smith really, he, to me, and I know a lot of people are going to call me crazy for this, and I was on Boss Cowboy Show when I said this the other day. That early pancake on Osa. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was on Tristan Hill.
Right.
It reminded me of the start of Zach Martin's career. And a lot of people remember it when it was OTAs. They didn't even have pads on, and he put Sean Lee in the dirt and ended the season. You know, I don't necessarily think that Tyler Smith is as good as Zach Martin is coming out, but he's been setting the tone. And I think that he's a day one pro ready to go right now. So I think that it was a smart draft pick. I killed the Cowboys at first for it, but now I'm okay with it. And I think that Tyler Smith is going to fit in just fine.
Just so you guys know, DMV was sitting right next to me. On that day. It was one of the lowest moments of my life.
We all killed that thing.
I was devastated.
Oh, no. One of y'all was cussing. I can't remember who it was. One of y'all was cussing.
I was mad.
I was mad.
I was recording, so it was him.
I mean, he wanted that bulldog. I already know what Matt wanted. He wanted that Georgia bulldog, and a lot of people, and a lot of us did, to be fair. But with that being said, DMV, tell people where to find you before you get up out of here and go do what you got to do, brother.
All right, man. You guys can find me at DMV Fanatic. I'll also be in the chat. I'll be listening too, and I'll be commenting as well. So I'm not going anywhere as far as the chat and stuff goes. So appreciate you guys and salute.
Yeah, 10-4.
Sounds good. Thanks.
As always. Gregory coming through says, who is, man, this is so negative, guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so negative. I mean, be honest. I mean,
nobody. That's it. That's the answer.
I mean, it's Friday. The weekend's here. You know, we're 2 weeks into camp. We got the preseason that's coming next week. And my guy Greg just 0 to 100 said, man, who's the buzz so far this year? God bless. Spoonie, you have 2 weeks in. Is there somebody you're disappointed in 2 weeks in? We'll do it. Yeah. I'm going to remix it. I'm sorry, Greg. I'm going to remix it a little bit. Is there somebody you're disappointed in 2 weeks in?
Yeah, Kevin Joseph.
Ooh.
Kelvin Joseph. Listen, it's like P.O. said earlier. We don't want to hear that he's a good special team guy. We want to hear that he is creating competition with that number 2 cornerback spot. We do have injuries in this league, and we want guys who can step right in, next man up approach like we did last year. And when we're hearing that this, he's getting burnt out there, or if he's not running well with the second team, he's playing great special team. We want to hear that because there's a certain guy from Florida State. Thankfully, Jay Tuck's not here. We could say his name, Asante Samuels Jr. That's the guy that we was all rooting for at the NFL draft. But we chose Kelvin Joseph, and don't get me wrong, he has talent. He has upside. We're not going to discuss his background issues, but at the same time, you want to wear that star on your helmet. You have to go out there and perform, and we're not hearing enough from him. But, thankfully, we're hearing from the guy like named Sean Wright and the other guys, but we want to hear about KJ as well.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks into it for me, y'all know me, Mr. # Special Teams Matter, Garibay. My God, what is going on here with Garibay? Jesus H. Christmas. Professor O, you're the numbers guy. 57%, is that where he is right now? Where we at with his
He's
percentage?
actually down. He's down now. He's like 55%.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Yeah. And Liram's not much better. So Liram, even having a good day, is like 69%. So I mean, it's bad.
Holy shit.
He's up though, because he was at 67%. So he's trending up. But yeah.
I ain't been up on Airbay yet.
Hey, I don't know. Veteran leg ASAP. Can we get one? I don't know what they need to do here. It is a train wreck at place kicker right now. That's where I'm at.
I can live with a kicker who consistently misses one way, because then I can feel like maybe it can be coached out of him. Like, he's missing everywhere. He's kicking short. He's kicking wide right. He's hitting the uprights. He's hitting wide left. Like, there's no consistency, which tells me either his steps are off or his plant legs sliding. Like, something's happening that's completely messing with his mechanics. I don't know what it is. Maybe he just has the yips. Like, we've seen that with guys like Vanderjagt in the past, like where kickers just get in their own head. Maybe he's dealing with the injury that's not disclosed, but whatever it is, it's not good. Like, it's scary.
And the problem that I found is that I open up a Spot Rack or whichever database you can think of, and the veteran free agent kickers out there are not promising, are not inspiring. They fall into one of two categories. Either they have had a bad year recently. Right. So, for example, you have Michael Bagley kick for about 70% more or less about 2 years ago. Or you have guys that have attempted like 20 career field goals, and you don't feel better about those either. Or because you have, for example, Kai Forbath that Cowboys Nation loves, but he was 10 out of 10 for the Cowboys. So the only 10 attempts with the Cowboys. And before that, it's not like he had this consistent career, right? So I don't feel good about any of the free agents out there either.
Mo, you know what Cowboys Nation wants. Just bring back Dan Bailey. It's fine.
Yeah. Just bring
Dan
Bailey back and bring 2014 Des Bryant back.
Yeah,
maybe get 2013 Travis Frederick in here as well, and we're good, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
I really feel like they need to just bring in 4 vets, let them all compete against each other, sign the best one, and cut Garibay and just let Liram and that vet battle it out for the spot. Like, that's probably what they need to do. We'll see though. Maybe he gets an opportunity in the preseason game and
I will say this for what it's worth, and I'm not saying we should transition to another rookie kicker, but I look at the Rams, right? I look at the Rams, and Gay last year, I think he was 32 or 34, like 92, 3-ish%. They have Cameron Dicker from the University of Texas on their roster. Probably not going to make it. Would they put him on the practice squad? We don't know. Would that intrigue you, Space, if things are trending? And would you bring in another rookie? Or are you looking for one of these vets to get free and what they can do here?
It's hard because usually where you're at in a season, if you're getting a rookie kicker, you want him to do good in the training camp, and you just roll with that.
But we're out on that with Garrett.
But right, I know, I understand that. Hence my point is I'm more of I just give me a veteran guy for this year, and let's try this again some other time. We could just go with the radical idea of just don't kick goddamn field goals and just go for it every single time. But that's just me.
Wow.
Because listen, it's one thing when you have a bad kicker. It's even worse when you have an inconsistent kicker, because now you're having oh God, is he going to make it? But to have it this far into training camp, a problem. And who knows, maybe the preseason games come and we have no issues. Like, I don't know. But because live game situations are a whole lot different. And that's why I'm kind of trying to hold out. But if push comes to shove, you're probably going to have to look at one of those guys. But it's a dry market out there.
Space said he's not a good practice guy, Gary, baby, but when the lights are on, he's good. I feel you. I'm smelling what you're picking up, what you're putting down. I mean, look, in Mojo Moments, the last one, he was pretty good. Maybe that gets him on fire and he gets rolling forward. But the problem with Garibay is he's not had a good day, period. That's the scary part about it. It's not been like, well, he had a couple of good days, just a couple. No, it's not been good at all.
Yeah.
But we'll get off of Garibay. Shane, do you have a guy so far in camp you're like, oh man, I was expecting more so far?
Well, we kind of talked about him last week, and I'm going to stick along the same lines as Garibay from the same school, Texas Tech, and that's right tackle Terrence Steele. It's more just because the expectations put on him with the fact that they let Lel Collins go, and they didn't feel it necessary to bring in a veteran tackle to be the swing guy. They were okay bringing back Josh Ball. They were okay drafting Matt Waletzko. They were okay picking up Eviante Collins. Obviously, they still have Mo's guy, Isaac Alarcon. So they have options as the swing guy, but their starter has been, for lack of a better word, getting his ass kicked. Now, granted, it's against guys like DeMarcus Lawrence and against guys like Micah Parsons. And, even the best offensive tackles are going to get their asses kicked by those guys. But we would at the very least see like reports or film of him having a good day. But I really hadn't seen much of anything on him that's been relatively positive. I've been fortunate enough to go by days where I've heard nothing negative about him. But the good days where you hear nothing about him. But too often we hear that he got beat by this guy. He got put on his butt by Tank, or he got beat on a swim move by Dante Fowler, who switched over to the left side, or whatever it is. And we already had enough issues wondering if Tyler Biadasz was going to be the guy at center, how left tackle was going to be with the help of Tyron Smith, how Tyler Smith was going to look at guard, and he's been, we've talked about him. He's been great so far in camp. But right now, Terrence Steele has become sort of, the weak link, and unfortunately, he is, at least on the outside looking in, one of our 5 best offensive linemen. So he is what we have right now. And the fact that he hadn't really, I'm not saying he's gotten worse, but he's kind of middled since the end of last season, is kind of a concerning thought.
It's fair. I think from last week to this week, I think I'm a little cooled off on Steele, because I think anytime that a D-Law or Parsons wins, I think you're going to hear about it, right? To a certain extent, I think is what happens, right? And you want those guys to get home and win. So I'm going to chill. I look, pause is what I'm going to do. I'm not chill. I'm going to pause, Shane. I'm going to pause a little bit and be like, okay, let's see where it goes. I'm not all the way confident I'm with you. Let's see some things happen the rest of this camp. It wasn't good out the gate. I think the pads came on, it got better, and then we're seeing some different clips. I'm right there with you, and it's like, ooh. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. Professor O, you have a person so far in camp where you're like, I was expecting a little bit more?
Not really, actually.
Okay.
So it's just early. I mean, we've only seen 1 week with the pads on, so it's kind of hard to really say, because like some of the guys like maybe like a Dorrance Armstrong, Ridgeway, Osa, guys like that, you haven't heard a ton about at camp. It doesn't mean that they're having a bad camp. They just didn't have pads on last week. Now they do, but we've only seen small doses of it. So there's not really anybody I'm hitting the panic button on yet, except for kicker, which you mentioned. Like that spot, yes, I'm hitting the panic button like immediately. If you have a giant red button, I'm pressing it because I just don't feel good there. But aside from that, like even a guy like Kelvin Joseph, I don't think Kelvin Joseph is having a strong camp. He's trending. I don't know that he's even trending downward. He's just not trending up, and that's where the concern comes from. He's a guy, though, that when preseason games start and the longer camp goes on, maybe we see a little bit more. I don't know. I don't think there's a name that I would say yet that I'm really worried about. I think, honestly, all 3 answers you guys gave so far would probably be the best 3 answers that I could come up with if I was picking somebody. But right now I'm feeling a little bit more, I don't want to say optimistic. I'm just on the fence. I'm right in the middle right now. I'm very level. We'll just go with that.
No panic.
Oh, here's the thing. It's not a player because, we talk a lot, and I know. It's a position, though, that you're very concerned about and not feeling where we're at right now.
Oh, no. Yeah, so swing tackle in particular, yeah. I'm panicking there. But because, like, Ball, we heard from Brian Broaddus, has looked stronger and better in camp than what they were expecting. But I've seen lots of reps of him where he doesn't look good. I haven't seen anything from Waletzko, obviously, because of his injury. I don't know what we have at tackle. I just don't know. Like, we've seen Ball for a handful of days in camp, and it's been kind of a mixed bag where he hasn't looked awful, hasn't looked great. He's been, we'll see. And keep in mind, even at camp with the pads on, they're still not going full speed. They're still not going all out on every rep. So we don't really know how he holds up against a Micah Parsons or a Dante Fowler or a DeMarcus Lawrence. So I have a lot of trepidation there that's our plan going into the season when I look at the vet swing tackles available. Yes, they're older guys or guys with injuries, but there's a lot of players that are better than what we have available right now. And we have cap space. We just made a move with Anthony Barr, so maybe we'll do that after they see what these guys look like in preseason. But I don't feel comfortable at all at swing tackle. So that's the position. Like, you're right, Nick. It's not a specific player, because that probably would have applied to Let's if he was healthy still. I just don't feel good about that position at all. I want a veteran who's seen some things, experienced some things, has had some wins, had some losses, to at least feel some sort, like even Ty and Seki, who I don't want to come back. I felt better about that just because he's been a tackle in actual NFL games and has had some successes, more losses than successes because he's an older swing tackle, but he's been there. Like, I just don't know. I don't think this is a sound plan at all when you know Tyron Smith is high probability going to get an injury, because that's what's happened the last 5 years now.
I could get everybody to tell me a bet on that in the space. I was like, hey, I'll bet anybody that wants to say he plays 17 games. I'll take the under. Nobody wanted to bet me. So here we are.
So TC915 said, bigger need, swing or wide receiver? It's swing. I know that a lot of fans will tell you the opposite because they're panicking about wide receiver, but I can hide that because I can go with more 12 personnel. I can go with more 2-back formations and do things to kind of reduce that. I can't really hide a big gaping hole in the offensive line. Yes, I could have a tight end to stay and chip and block more, but in terms of run game, being able to continue your offense the way that you want to go, if you have a big issue, revolving door, turnstile, whatever verbiage you want to use at tackle, it cripples your offense. We've seen that. We saw that against Atlanta when Chaz Green went up against Adrian Claiborne and gave up like half of Claiborne's career sacks in one game to him. You just can't win like that. So I don't need you to be a great player. I understand if you're a swing tackle, you're going to have your red flags, but I just need some sense of security, and I don't feel that right now. Like, I can live with having a shaky kicker because I don't want to kick the ball anyways. I'm aggressive and just go for it anyways. Why not? Like, whatever. We have an all-pro punter in a dominant offense, whether fans are as excited about it now as they have been in the past or not. We should still be relatively explosive on offense. I would rather just go for it than worry about a kicker anyways, but that's just my philosophy. So that's
here's the thing. And look, here's the thing for preseason. I don't think Tyron Smith's playing game 1, right? Anybody think Tyron Smith's going to play?
I don't think
right?
he plays any of them.
All right, do you okay, now pivot. Do you think Terrence Hill plays week 1 preseason?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, how long y'all think he's going to play?
One
quarter?
One drive.
One drive? Okay.
Maybe a series or two.
Series or two. Okay. So it's Ball and who for the rest of the game?
I think Aviante Collins is the other tackle. Alarcon's been playing a lot of guard. I don't know if he's playing any tackle.
Yeah, he got switched to guard last year.
Yeah, they moved him to guard. Yeah,
he did.
I don't know who other tackles they got.
Look,
it's gonna be ugly.
Hold on, and therein lies the issue. We literally are sitting here talking about it, and we kind of know the roster. I would say at least we know the roster pretty well. Okay, there's no clear answer who can play a whole preseason game at tackle if you take Seal and Tyron Smith out of here. It's a problem. Add somebody already.
Hey, you know what? They might even play Tyler Smith to start at left tackle for all we know. They might play him at tackle.
And look, I have an issue with that too. If they were to do that, Mo, I have an issue with that, Mo.
I'm not sure if I would like it because, like, I would like the Cowboys to stick with a plan with whatever it is. So they talked about, in minicamp and OTAs, they had him play both spots, left tackle, left guard. You enter training camp and Mike McCarthy says, we're going to let him focus in and zero in at guard. And I like that. And the logic, according to McCarthy, was if he solidifies his foundation, it will help his flexibility when push comes to shove and we need to kick him out to tackle. So if that is the plan for training camp, that should be the plan for the preseason as well, in my opinion.
Facts. Completely agree. Yeah. Our guy Walker with a question says, how confident are you that Gallup will revert to his pre-injury form before this season is over? I'm a 3 out of 10. I believe he will be back to that form in 23. Space, confidence whenever Gallup comes back in.
In the terms of what he can do offensively, I'm kind of at a 7. People forget how modern medicine works nowadays, and you have the number one guy. And Gallup isn't going to be your main guy getting most of the targets unless Kellen Moore features him, right? You really need him to kind of do certain things like we saw last year with the toe touching in, the sidelines and a couple of things here and there. I understand that he got hurt late last year, so a lot of us have some cause to pause to be like, I don't know. I mean, for God's sake, you saw Cam Akers last year, tore his Achilles, comes back, and he looks just fine. I'm not freaking out about an ACL injury unless, knowing how he heals, and apparently he has some condition where he heals slow. It's more so I'm worried about how fast he comes back than when he, how he comes back, if that makes any sense.
Fair enough. Mo, Gallup coming back in, returning to form. Where you at?
Yeah, I'm very confident. Just like Space said, I think that if you look at the NFL league-wide, from a wide perspective, players that come back from ACL injury, on average, most of them come back just fine when they come back. And a lot of the times, we have this narrative of hurrying players back onto the playing field, but most of the time, they come back when they are able to really, really come back from a medical standpoint. So I'm not concerned about that. I think that when Gallup, suits up and goes out there and play, I think it will be just fine. And I am going with Todd Archer's reports, honestly. So a lot of people are saying 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Todd Archer has been pretty confident in saying 1 or 2 or just a couple of games for Michael Gallup. And I think it is for a reason.
I'm right there with you. Mo. I've been consistently throughout this process. We talked about a lot on this show. We talked a lot about it on the spaces. That I think he misses 3 and comes back game 4. That's where I'm kind of, anytime we've said, hey, how many games, we go the round table, how many will he miss? To me, it's always been 3 and he comes back game 4. Now, we had a guy, though, Spoonie, on the space that was over there rocking with us. Shout out to our guy Landon, a.k.a. Killing More on Twitter if you want to go follow him. He's out there in Oxnard. He brought it up and kind of talked about it, too. He was even lower than that. He was, more so on the, I think he misses maybe 2, if you will. And, of course, it is recorded. If y'all follow me on Twitter, your guy next, you can go and replay the Cowboys Happy Hour space that we did earlier before we came on here. So, Spoon, some things that are trending in the right direction. And maybe, Spoon, for everybody that says, hey, we got to go get a guy, maybe in-house they have a little bit better knowledge, as Mo was just talking about, the guy he mentioned, that he's going to be back quicker, maybe sooner than later.
Yeah, I've been saying since the question was asked, how long will he be out? I've always felt that he'll be out no later than the first week of October. So this is great news as Cowboys fans for us to hear Michael Gallup not be out that long. And, a lot of times we could jump ahead and judge so quickly, but we have to understand they know what's going on inside behind closed door. And to answer B's question about how long would the real Gallup be back as far as pre-injury, I think what's going to happen is that because of Dalton Schultz and Colbert, they're going to allow the team to really take it easy on Gallup, to ease his way back in the way, way BJ, have you said at the space, that with this, the way the Dallas Cowboys operate is that they want to make sure you're fully healed before they give you that burn, that playing time. So I think with Dalton Schultz, and I think Tobo's going to do a very, very good job in the first couple of weeks of the season, it's going to allow Gallup to ease into the offense easy.
Okay, fair. That's very fair. Shane, we kind of talked about Gallup a little bit before. Right here and what we're hearing and whatnot, do you think he can return to the player he has been, or do you think it's a year away?
I think we're all being cautiously optimistic that he returns to the guy he was, just because we know who he is when he's healthy, what kind of player he is. But we forget he actually suffered 2 injuries last year. And ACLs, while they take really a full year to fully heal, we're banking on the fact that he'll be ready 9, maybe 10 months after the injury actually occurred. And that's the hope that, not only his speed returns, but his ability to go up and get the ball returns. That's because he is our best go up and get it receiver. He's that guy for us. And so I feel like 1 to 2 games, maybe 3 is realistic for when they think he can play. But I don't think if you want to like know how long I think it would take for him to be like fully like good to go and play, I think we'd be better off putting him on short-term IR and bringing him back after 6 games. Make sure he gets as close to a full year as we can get. Allowing Tolbert to really embrace the number 2 role, using Tony Pollard more as a slot guy. Really, I'm okay really running CD, Pollard, and Tolbert as our 3 guys out there. I really am. But especially if it gives a guy like Gal more time to be healthy. Because I firmly believe, and you're going to think I'm off this. I believe we're gonna make the playoffs because the division really ain't that strong. I think we're gonna need him more in January than we are gonna need him in September.
Mo, I saw the head shake like I did. Go ahead, Mo, jump in there on that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not confident in the wide receiver position. I am not confident at all. Professor O was talking about swing tackle and wide receiver, and I fully respect the swing tackle panic. I think that I share it as well, but I am close to panicking at wide receiver. I've talked about it on primetime. I think there is really no excuse for the Cowboys to not go out there and sign somebody. And we think, like, who's your number 3 wide receiver right now? It's CeeDee Lamb at 1, Jalen Tolbert at 2, maybe. Number 3, it could very well be Noah Brown.
It's Schultz.
It's Schultz. Yeah, it is Schultz.
Yeah, I mean, Schultz is number 2. Schultz is actually your number 2, but for the wide receiver point, I'm
for
feeling
the wide
that.
receiver point. And then we as fans tend to think about, your starting 3, but you play a lot of 11 personnel. Even if the Cowboys like 12 personnel, even if they like 21, whatever they do, with these heavier packages, they're still going to line up in 11 personnel more than half the time, maybe. And you need a solid number 4 as well. And I know that Dennis Houston is talented. I know that Fehoko and Vasher also have their pretty special traits, but you do need experience. And I believe that not having that experience could hold back the offense quite a bit in terms of what can you ask for them, because we forget that in the NFL, there's a lot of reads going on within the same play, and the level of complexity might be, you might need to scale that back a lot if those are your receivers when the season starts. And I am gravely concerned about wide receiver. I need a signing before the season.
Real quick, everybody in the chat, hashtag gravely. That's the first time this has been dropped. That term has been dropped here. Our guy Mo just said, I am gravely concerned. Hey, I'm with you, Mo. I am too, because I don't buy. Look, and I'm the guy from last season. And Spoody, you already know. I was the guy last season. I was trying to get Pollard on punt return. People's like, well, Knicks, he ain't ever returned punts. I'm like, I don't give a damn. Get him on punt returns. I'm trying to generate 12 to 15 touches for Pollard. With that being said, Shane, I'm just being honest. I can't look. I want Pollard involved. I can't roll him with the slot all the time. I'm not, me personally, Shane, I'm not buying that. That worries me, him multiple times in the slot in that realm. I think there's a way to get him involved and do those things and get him those touches. I'm worried about the strictly slot spot, Shane. Personally, just for me. Gravely in the building, though.
I was saying that more in the realm of, like, that's where I think the receiver room is at, that our running back is our third best receiver. I wasn't saying, like, that's the only guys we need to put out there. I mean, we got a guy like Kevontae Turner. I'm sure he might factor into this at some point. You mentioned him just a second ago. But, I mean, Mo's brought it up. We do need that guy because, I mean, we have guys like Fehoko and Vasher, Turpin, who have, like, a specialty to them. Vasher obviously has the length, the height, and the ability to go up and get it. He has, I think they said when his hands reach the most they can reach going upward, and he jumps high as he goes, it's over 10 feet. So that's a special attribute. Fehoko he's the size of a tight end, but with the speed of a cornerback. He ran like a 4.3 something or something like that. I know Mo is pretty high on Fehoko. And Turpin, that's the guy everyone's talking about, this guy from TCU who I actually saw play live, and he is like some sort of cross between Dante Hall and Jakeem Grant. Yeah, just because he's a smaller guy, but he's just incredibly quick and really, really twitchy. He kind of plays like 7-on-7 ball where he just kind of dodges everybody. But we don't have like that third guy. If James Washington was healthy, at least we had like a safety valve option. But really, when I said like Pollard is like their third best receiver, I meant it only as like that's where the receiver room is at. Mo's absolutely right. We need to go out and find somebody. It didn't have to be like everyone's bringing up like Will Fuller or OBJ or something like that. I think I don't know how healthy OBJ is because he just tore his ACL back in February. Will Fuller can never say healthy. Will Fuller is the Tyron Smith of receivers. We really need to put that on our team. honestly, if we're going to get a veteran receiver, I think someone like T.Y. Hill will make more sense.
Yeah, I think in general, here's a guy that I would throw out there, and I look. I typically don't go into other spaces of other teams, but I saw a Jet space after we entered our space last night. Damn it! I said Spoon our space. You didn't come along with me last night, did you? Fair enough. That's okay. Space, space, and Spoon didn't come along with me last night. That's okay. I'm like 7 days straight on spaces. Whatever. Here's the thing, Bob Heck. I'm right there with you. That's my guy on free agency. That's my guy on free agency. Yeah, like but I think you can make a move via a trade. One of the guys that's intriguing to me is local kid, Mr. Denzel Mims, and I've kind of been paying attention to going into camp. He was kind of a bubble guy, right? 1, 2 though he's had a very good camp. But I don't, obviously, I'm not all the way tuned into the Jets and what's going on there. So I was able to slide into a Jets Twitter space last night, and I was like, hey guys, and I got a chance to ask some questions and everything. And they were like, hey, look, he's having a great camp, but he's only running with the 3s. And I was like, okay, well, what do y'all like about him? And they told me this, well, jump balls, 50-50 balls, and 9 routes is where he's really good. And I said, oh, say less. That's all we need until we get Calvin back, because that's how they're going to use him. So for me, I'm like, we got a 5th round pick lined up for you fellas, and we'll send it to you and we can make it happen. But with that being said, that's my thought process in that realm. I'll spin the block here on everybody. Oh, Mims for a 5th round pick, buying or selling real quick.
Who have we drafted with a 5th round pick? Like before this year, in which they had like 10 million 5th rounders. Before that, what 5th rounder has ever hit for the Cowboys? You need to go back.
Orlando Scandrick, that's the last guy I remember.
Okay, so okay, so Mo, you're good on the 5th round pick then.
Hell yeah,
okay,
man.
Professor O, are you good on the 5th round pick for Mims?
I'm good with it on Mims, but I would really be good with it for Laviska Shenault. That's my guy.
Sure.
23 years old, 6'1", 227. He's from Irving. But
you can't get him for a 5th.
I think you could.
Oh, you think so?
I think you can.
Yeah. I think it costs you a 4th. I think. But sign me up with
cool
the 5th,
too.
He's out of the starting lineup. I think, you probably get him for a 5th or even a 6th.
Yeah, I think he's going to be cheaper
Shenault?
than Yeah.
You think you get Shenault for a 6th?
Okay, so my buddy Jordan Luego, who actually covers the Jags for Generation Jag, I asked him about Shenault because I think Mo brought him up one time on the show a few months back as a trade candidate, and I actually asked him about Shenault and how they brought him in as like a guy who could run a lot of those jet sweeps that the Niners run with Deebo Samuel, because he's like that thicker kind of receiver. But the problem is his issue has been not really.
Oh shit.
Sorry. Well, wait, make sure it's top 6 too. You forgot that part too.
No, hold on. Shane's giving some knowledge here. Hold on, man. I want to hear this.
Go
ahead. His issue was not that his route running ability. He actually has really good separation ability. His issue is he's dropping passes. He hasn't been able to consistently catch the ball. That's why they went out and really added all those weapons to the offense. I think now it's like Marvin Jones. They added another receiver. Is that Cedric Wilson? Cedric Wilson, and I can't remember who the third receiver is. But right now,
Dolphins.
Say what?
Cedric went to the Dolphins.
You're right. Christian Kirk is the one that is with the Jags. Christian Kirk's with the Jags. Yeah. But right now, I think on their depth chart, Shenault is probably 5th right now. So even though he's a 2nd round pick and he has the upside of a really reliable number 3 receiver, he has like that bigger build. He has a Deebo Samuel build. He just does. But he doesn't have that same kind of ability. I think you probably get a 6 for him. I think since we're talking about like swapping picks for younger players.
Right.
Another thing too is if you look at his ADOT, average depth of target or average distance of throw, depending on which company has the ADOT, it's like 5.8 and 6.1 yards, which means they're throwing him the ball quick. He's getting a lot of screens, a lot of hits, a lot of shallow crossing routes. He's not getting a lot of opportunities to have explosive numbers. So if you look at his total yardage and you see like 2 back-to-back 600-yard years, maybe that doesn't move the needle and impress you as a Cowboys fan because you're like, well, that's not a ton of yards. If that's your 3rd receiver or 4th receiver on Gallup's back, that's a great contribution. That's what Cedric Wilson just did last year. So if you can get that as a 23-year-old who can play multiple positions and can also run the ball and can also be an X receiver and play slot, like I think from a versatility standpoint, he makes a lot of sense. So yes, I'm totally cool with Mims for a 5th, and I'm also equally cool, if not more so, with Shenault for a 5th. Either one of those, Perfect. Let's go.
And
I
Professor,
I would say this. Here's the thing for me, and what I would say is the Cowboys have a type, and I think between the two, they would go Mims because of the body type, then Chenault. But I'm with you, O. I would love to get Chenault here because it's not just about the guys that you're getting. It's about the 23-year-oldness. It's about the contract controlness, which matters here in Dallas, so on and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, either one. For me, and we talked about this, was that Wednesday, Spoonie, we were on, and we kind of talked about the receiver core and about maybe acquiring somebody. And Spoonie, I told you then, I was like, I'm starting to lean towards if they add somebody, I don't think it's going to the free agent market. I think it's going to be via a trade.
Right. It makes sense. Newsflash tomorrow. Well, I gotta find out about my plans tomorrow morning. But I was invited to the Jets green and white scrimmage game tomorrow.
Nice.
But I asked my buddy, if I don't go, can you just find some info on Denzel Mims? We all spoke about, we all have the same interest. But I tell you this, B, it just makes a lot of sense. Stephen Jones is not going for an older veteran guy, and like you hit on the head, and P.O. did as well. If it's a veteran guy, it's going to be Emmanuel Sanders. Odell, that would be my dream, but does it make sense now? No, he won't be ready till October, so those dreams are shattered. But if it's Denzel Mims, if it's LaVisca Chenault,
that's a good. I'm sorry, Spoon. That's a good one too. Go ahead, Spoon. Spoon.
No, Andy Isabella, speed kills. And I remember P.O. had put a piece on, right? This was last year's draft, I believe, right? Andy Isabella. Or the draft before that, right? It was one of those years.
The year before. I think he was
the year before that, right? Yeah. He spoke heavily about him. So we have a chance to get some of these guys, especially where we all know where when that original team does not draft that player, or that original coach does not draft that player, what happens?
Right.
Normally they're on the outs, go on the way out, so they're available. And one last thing, I digs the shirt. Primero Cowboys, I digs the shirt, man.
Oh, thank you, man. That's the name of my platform in Spanish, 100% on Facebook, man. Thank you.
Yeah, plug that. It's all about the plug. Yeah. It's $3.99 to plug right now. Plug that.
Yeah, there you go. Primero Cowboys is my first strongly built show, to put it one way, maybe. Primero Cowboys. There's a lot of fans in Mexico, man, for the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of fans in Mexico. So it's a fun community.
They're in the building too. Go ahead and speak.
Can I share this real quick?
Go ahead. No, hold on. Wait. Go, Mo. Go ahead and do what you do.
Oh yeah,
I've heard the call. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? You're fine. I'm sorry.
Primero Cowboys. You can find it on Facebook and on YouTube, and that's all in Spanish. So make sure you check that out. It's a fun community.
There it is.
They got plug it in Spanish.
Yeah, I was trying to get you there. I'm sorry, Ma. I stepped on your toes. My fault. I was trying to get you to let you get it up out there. I'm sorry.
Primero Cowboys tienen que checarlo en YouTube y en Facebook y lo pueden ver todos los viernes a las 6 p.m. hora del centro.
There it is. No. By all means, go ahead and walk the door.
I was gonna share. He said in Mexico when I was in Tulum last year, right before the season started with my wife. And we was just doing we were taking a tour. They thought because of my ring, right? They thought that I played for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, really? So that's crazy, man.
They got me a cowboy Mexican mask, and I was sporting it the whole time and everything. And they asked, because what happened was when they asked me, I looked over to my wife. She says yeah, say yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her like, oh God. So when they asked me, I said I was in a practice squad a couple of times, X, Y, and Z. I couldn't fully go with it, but it was a fun experience. But they're really diehard Cowboys fans, and I was like, wow, I was so impressed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have a question for Space.
Okay.
So first off, this one's not really that important. I'm just curious. If I remember correctly, there used to be a jersey behind you on the wall. Who was that? Why? Who'd you take off behind you? Wasn't there a jersey back there?
There were two. It was Zeke and Dak, and it's because I have a goddamn green screen behind me. I have it retracted right now. I was like, "What, dude? Oh, I'm throwing this shit down. I don't need
10-4.
Yeah.
That's
So
it for.
my actual Cowboys question for you is, we've talked about it on our shows quite a few times. Who do you think is second on the Cowboys this year in interceptions? Are you going for one of the cornerbacks, a safety? Who do you think that guy is?
Who's gonna be second? Like,
Yeah, like who do you think is going to be second on the team in interceptions this year on the defense?
I think it's gonna be Anthony Brown again.
Okay, fair enough.
He's having a
I-
great camp, so
Yeah, I have Malik Hooker, but it is what it is. Let's put over here. We got a guest up here, and of course, if you're on the YouTube and everybody's on Facebook right now, my guy Bob Hake, I saw him over there on the Facebook. There he is right now. Boom, as he's coming through, he goes AB with number 2. Chopper's in the building as well on Facebook as well. Man, we appreciate the Facebook love. Man, it's right there on the bottom of the screen. YouTube, Pick 6 Sports. Man, come over here. Hit the sub button and then jump into the chat on YouTube and say, hey, I just subbed, and man, we're going to light up. We're going to light up the chat for you, man, and give you your just due. So come over on this side, man, and get over here on YouTube so you can hit that link and you can get a chance to join us like our guy, Robert Roberts, who is long time been supporting and coming through anytime we do stuff. And finally, Professor Oz, we've been out here campaigning for these people to come through. Robert finally showed up. Rob, how are you doing on this Friday, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I said I was going to be here on Wednesday, so here I am, right?
Boom, there he is. I mean, yeah.
A man of his word. I like
kind
it.
of thing. Well, I had to jump in here because I said something on Wednesday. You threw it up on the screen, and you kind of looked at it a little funny.
Fair.
And I had to get in here and I had to defend it.
Fair.
Okay. For anybody who might not have been here, don't remember it. Nix, you might not remember it. I said,
oh, I remember.
Dan Quinn is the reason the Seahawks won their Super Bowl. Okay. Number one defense that year. Number one defense. You go back, you look at their offense, it was mid. It was just right there in the middle. I mean, depending on what you look at, some higher, some lower, whatever.
Yeah.
But their defense was number one in almost every category. So I'm a firm believer that defense wins championships. And I mean, he's definitely making some changes around here with the defense for sure.
Okay. Very fair. Your head coach said something, but your head coach said something different, right?
See, the credit goes to the quarterback.
That's not what he didn't say credit though.
Well,
that's not what he said.
That's not what he said. But
what did he say though, Robert?
He said your quarterback wins Super Bowls. But if you look at the very next year,
right, fair. That's fair. That's fair. and again, the only thing about when it comes to Dan Quinn in that realm when you said that was, and it's very different for Dan Quinn now than in Seattle for me, is because he didn't really build that defense, right? It was the guy before him, but he did walk through the door. No, look, there's no harm and foul in that whatsoever, right? And he walked through the door and he did what he did. I grasped that. So I'm just pushing back a little bit. I'm having a fun time here with you, Robert, as you're up here and finally getting a chance to talk to you face to face. I'm just telling you what your head coach said. Go ahead, Mo. I saw your hand up. Go ahead, Mo. Mo's like, wait a minute.
I would also just point out, I love Michael Parsons. I love Trevon Diggs. The Cowboys have a lot of really good players. I mean, the Marcus Lawrence. I just do not feel like they have Richard Sherman, Byron Maxwell, Cam Chancellor, and that group, which was, I mean, it's a historic group, man. Yeah. It's one of the best
Legion of
units
Boom
in NFL history. Legion of Boom. So,
all right, hold on. Let's run that back again. What are those names? Let's go slower this time. What are the names?
It was Chancellor, right?
Yeah, Chancellor.
Maxwell.
Sure.
So Chancellor, we got Jaron Curse, Maxwell.
Okay.
Man, but would you put them on that?
Go ahead,
put Jaron up there, man. I just wouldn't.
Hey, but here's the thing, though, Mo, about that is revisionist history tells us, oh, look at these guys and what they did, but you didn't know that till they did it. And that's the one thing about this defense currently right now into the second year of Dan Quinn is we saw where they got to from historically the worst defense in Cowboys history to where they ended up this year, right?
Yeah.
Bet. So guess what? Now they have opportunity to take a step forward underneath Dan Quinn. So we don't know that. And that's one of the biggest things that I talk about a lot in this offseason in general. And it kind of really clicked to me that we don't talk about it enough as we're doing these shows or we're getting our content out and doing things is one thing. there's a certain cutoff, right?
Yeah.
Where players are who they are, right? Our coaches are who they are. There's a certain point comes where they don't really reinvent themselves. You just kind of understand it to a certain degree. There's obviously exceptions to every level, but in general, the one thing that I always talk about is like we have to understand. Like I know it's crazy to think like Michael Parsons could be better this year than last year, but theoretically, rookie year to second year, he should be better, right? So we saw Diggs year 1, injury, whatever happened, whatever. But from year 1 to year 2, we saw what happened. Obviously, year 3 should walk through the door even more. Lamb is a very good case example about wide receivers when they hit year 3, you see that big jump. Hence was what the Cowboys have done. Now we might not like what the wide receiver room looks like, but a lot of it is because they said, well, they didn't replace Cooper. So no, they did. It was Lamb. That's what they did. I'm like, oh well, they didn't replace Cedric Wilson. Boy, actually, that's Tolbert. Oh well, what about Michael Gallup? Well, that was supposed to be James Washington. So in their minds and how they look at it is kind of what they did. But moving that to the side real quick is these guys, Osas, the Gallimores, we're talking about guys going from year 1 to year 2 or year 2 to year 3, Golstons, whatever the case may be. They have an opportunity to walk through the door here. They're not year 4, 5, 6, 7 of those in that realm. So we are not sure on that realm. And I think at times when we talk about it, we're so caught up in the now and where this team is, and we don't understand what the growth is at a certain point. And we have to give and tip the camp like, hey, there's an opportunity for a lot of this team to be so young. There's growth to be had here still. Are they going to be the Legion of Boom? No, I would not put that on them at all.
Better.
Right. Oh, Spoon, don't you? No, Spoon. All right, Spoon said Freestyle Freddy said, better. I'm not going to do. Okay, Spoon. I'm not going to go that far. Spoon. I'll let you rock on that one.
Nah, the thing with the Legion of Boom, they had a great complement with the offense. They had an identity. The run game. That was a key thing. Run the ball. You had Russell Wilson. They helped him grow a little bit with his mobility, and the defense was the defense. Listen, I'll take over my Cowboy fan right now as an NFL fan. I'll say this: Cowboys are one skilled player, one splash player on offense. We're going to the Super Bowl. I'm calling it right now, and we got to be honest. This is why we get so much on top of Stephen Jones, because we keep hearing you're looking for upgrades, 24 hours a day, X, Y, and Z. Now, as fans, we hear the news, we see who's available, who's on the last year deal. You're one play away. When you look at this defense, let's be honest. When I got Anthony Barr and BJ PO, we spoke a couple of days ago, and what I had told you guys, the one thing I was so impressed with Anthony Barr, it wasn't just picking the team because of the coach. And at the NFL street, these guys conversate throughout this whole process, things that we don't even know about. And he came, and I know he said, "Nah, I know they got my teammate Javon Curse there. I understand they got my former coach and George Edwards there. But look at these guys, all the other guys, Michael Parsons, everybody else. With myself, he came out and said today they're contenders. He didn't have to say that. You can say anything you want, but you said contenders. And he believes that. And we all believe that. We here talking about the wide receivers. If Stephen Jones was in a perfect world, say, hey, listen, I'm going to throw a 4th round pick for Tyler Lockett out of Seattle. I believe that's enough. Okay. That is enough to go all the way. Well, exactly. It won't happen. But see, that's the thing about it. That's the thing about it. When the opportunity is there for him to do it, this is why we upset. He's not doing it. But we see what's on paper. Listen, let's be real. You talk about Legion of Boom. They were Legion of Boom because they want to stay winning. As long as the organization have the mind frame of continue to build and stop trying to, save a little bit and spend a little bit. No, go all out, because you may never have this opportunity again. I love what P.O. was doing. He came out, when you say chance, look at Javon Curse. Myself and others was saying, oh, he ain't even making the team. Let's be honest. When I say Javon Curse, I mentioned P.O. and I mentioned Mendoza. Why? Those are the two Cowboy friends that I know deep down is don't preaching it. Javon Curse, watch. He delivered. BJ Nix asked him about who's going to be number 2 interceptions for this Cowboy defense. Malik Hooker. I see the panel with it. They agree Malik Hooker. So when you have those conversations about when you have a corner already who leads the league in interceptions, who's going to be number 2? We know Michael Parsons is going to be. DMV just came out and said that the game is much slower to Parsons, and you already know he's already on top of the list.
Right.
You gotta feel the same way. Listen, another perfect world, and this is one thing I wish. I want to see BJ strip his shirt off and run around like when we got CD Lamb. And we go get Ndamukong Suh.
What was that?
Nobody else wants to see that, but I'm here to do it. I'm still
If you don't clip anything else from this show, Spoonie just said, I want to see BJ Nix take his shirt off and run around.
Yeah, run around. Listen, but see, this is the thing about it. As fans, listen, we hear all the stuff outside X, Y, and Z. Yes, we hurt ourselves. But the organization, they have to understand we are really there. We're knocking on the door. What's holding us back? Cap space. All the time.
Fair enough. Hey, and real quick, just want to come over here. Our guy Kima says, Star Game Podcast no longer exists. We have the Star Game Facebook group is right there on the cusp of 15,000. We have rebranded. It is now officially Pick Six Sports. We got the website coming really soon. We're going to have some written content. We're on Wednesdays and Thursdays. If y'all follow me on Twitter, man, I'm running the spaces. I'm every day. Anytime we're doing camp, I'm in there. So come through and mess with us. But yeah, we have rebranded into the Pick Six Sports lane. Look, D-Town, let me get to some other comments real quick. Said, talk to him, Spoon. D-Town said, talk to him, Spoon. Spoon's ready. Spoon all the way up there, Brooklyn, New York, right now. It says Brooklyn's in the house and the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. Just go get somebody. Fair enough, Spoon. Fair enough. I mean, real quick, I was about to say, I was waiting, Professor O, as he was talking. I thought he was going to bring the Morgan music out for Wednesday real quick. I thought it was about to happen.
I thought about it.
I mean, yeah, I look, I'll say this. It's, the team is, I hate when it's like the mindset, like the team is trash. Like I've been seeing a lot of people like I might be pessimistic, but it's dumb to say the team is trash. It's not. This team is a playoff team. And you know how any team is. If you get into the tournament, anything can happen. I guarantee you no one was thinking the Bengals were going to go all the way to the Super Bowl. I guarantee you no one thought that 49ers team was going to do something like that. And it just goes to show you that there are those moments where if a team's playing right at that right moment, even if you get decent play on offense and your defense does its job, you can win a couple games. It's not like you're playing a series of games, right? Now, I'm one to be like, just show it to me. I've been that the entire season. You know how I've been with this front office, being like, listen, if you just add some pieces here and there, okay, you can do something in 2022. But again, like when you're playing the gambling game with the young guys, it's either you're going to strike out or you're going to do really well, which, okay, you want to gamble, that's fine. But it's very hard to win a championship. What was it? Like we saw Kansas City with how well they've put teams together. It took them a while for them to put a team that they went to the playoffs, 7 straight times before they went to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard, really damn hard. And people don't realize that. I understand that everyone wants to talk about how Dallas hasn't done anything, this, that, and a third. I get it. But there are teams that have had longer strands of either not making the playoffs, not winning playoff games, you name it. And let me just say this too. I don't think anyone here would be like, well, at least we came in second place to end the season. I don't think anyone here would say that. Like, who gives a shit if you lose in the NFC Championship game? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
No one's going to care about that.
Thanks.
No one. I don't care what, you're just saying. No one gives a shit that, the Cardinals lost in an NFC Championship game 6 or 7 years ago. No one cares about that.
Real quick. First and foremost, I want to say this. Man, hold on, real quick. Shout out to producer Jay, who just made this luxury pizza, homemade, that I just got delivered. Yes, and guess what?
I felt my stomach just rumble as soon as I saw that, man. As soon as that entered my eyesight, I just felt hunger within me.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, this just showed up. She crawled. Look, and shout out to producer Jay. all the way keeping it 100. She opened my door. She didn't get on camera. She crawled. Shout out to her. She got down. I was like, oh, there's pizza here. Real quick though, I mean, I just want to address this because we get to have fun on these shows on Friday a little bit more. We're a little bit more business like, if you will, on Wednesdays. Toxic Tom Downey burner account. Okay, sir. So what is our excuse then? Quite literally, every other team in the NFL has had more success than us in the playoffs since '94. Well, that's not really true. But Mo, you want to help Toxic out here a little bit?
Well, I will just like to point out the fact that I was born in 1999, so it sucks that I haven't seen this team just in its.
Yeah, let's go. Join the party,
Yeah, so it's like just a sad reminder that Toxic Tom will just throw my way every single day on primetime, and I appreciate it because I know that when the time comes, it will feel great. I don't know, man. Like I really don't know if there is an excuse. There's just. We don't like the way that the front office handles things. And I think that, Cowboys Nation is pretty much on the same page there. I would like them to be more aggressive in free agency because as people smarter than me have pointed out, and shout out to Joey Ikes, one of the very best in Cowboys Twitter, in my opinion, after I believe it was, I don't know if this was this year or last year, but he pointed out just every single championship team has had big free agent additions. And I'm not talking about splashy names, highest paid player of the class or anything like that, but just key additions, multiple additions. And the Cowboys just don't go that way pretty much any offseason, right?
You know what it is? It's because last year, that was the first year in a long time they were able to find cheap free agents that actually worked out. People like Javon Kurtz, DeMonte Kazee, Malik Hooker, Carlos Watkins. That was the first time in however many times that Stephen Jones' philosophy of buying cheap vets and filling spots like that actually worked. And we made the playoffs. For some reason, he's like, hey, even though we have this team that's really talented, we have a top 10 quarterback, we have one of the unicorns in the NFL on defense, we have a lot of really talented players on both sides of the ball. Let's go ahead and just not sign anybody. We'll let people pick off our own players. And that's what the frustration is. I mean, we can all agree this has probably been the most frustrating offseason in a long time because the expectations that we had at the end of last season and the lack of aggression we had from February up till now. I'm really the biggest move we had up until the Anthony Barr signing, really, the biggest move we had was tagging Dalton Schultz. That was the biggest move we had. We traded Amari Cooper. We let Leo Collins go for nothing. We let Cedric Wilson walk in free agency. We let Randy Gregory go. That was a debacle. What happened with
Whoa. We didn't let Gregory go.
Yes, we did. We messed up with that.
No. We didn't let him go. No, there was a
we tried
fumble.
To keep him.
There was a fumble. No, right. There was a fumble at the goal line. Look.
Right, but they let it happen.
Well, I would have preferred for them to just let him go, right?
No, we all know what happened.
Let them go. Rather than what really happened.
The agent kind of played little double agent, if you will, because there's never been, correct me if I'm wrong here, you've never been in this style of what we do and how we cover things. We've never been in a space where the Adam Scheffers of the world, the Ian Rappaports, done deal, Cowboys got him signed, it's a wrap, into like 2 hours later, oh, by the way, he just signed the same deal in Denver. There's more afoot, if you will, than just we said no, we let him go. I'm just saying we didn't close the deal. But I'm with you though, Shane. We didn't close the deal for whatever happened behind the scenes and at the deadline. Yeah, we didn't close the deal for what it's worth, and I'm with you there. I'm just saying. I just want to be clear that we didn't let him go. When people are here to talk, it says Knicks. I'm sorry, but we are the damn Knicks of the NFL. All I hear is hype with no results. I want to be clear here. I don't think anybody on this panel or within the realm of, and I've watched, I follow everybody here. I've watched most shows. I've definitely read Shane's articles. Space has been very, look, if y'all want to go down the rabbit hole, go over here to Space and see what he talks about a little bit here and there. He is very triggered, if you will.
Yes.
So within this space of what you're talking about there, I don't know what your name is, but I'm just calling you Toxic, okay? Is that okay? I ain't going to go through all the rest. Dude, what hype are we talking about here? We're being contextual within the players and what's happening through camp. all we can do is observe, report, and talk about it and where they're going. And literally, we've all talked about situations that are bad, how we should add, how we should do. Spoony just said, push the chips in. I've been that guy for 3 years now. Push the chips in. They haven't done it. So we talk about it. It's not about winning the offseason, as Stephen Jones talked about recently. Well, the Rams won, blah, 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 and that's not how we do. And it hasn't done well for us. And we're like, well, yeah, well, you ain't signed nobody since Brandon Carr. So you haven't really spent money there. But you have to do something here and there is what it boils down to. Yeah. But besides, excuse me, but besides that, it's not about hype, but it's about being realistic of where we are currently and what they can go do. Now, okay, Smoothie did say better than the Legion of Boom. Fair. That's fair.
We can be better. We can be
better. But not better.
No, you know what? It's Freestyle Friday. No, we will be better.
All right. Well, never mind, Toxic. Smoothie proves you right. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
I'll take it.
Point proven.
I mean, listen, we got to be honest, man. This defense last year, it got up to a rough start with injuries, and we had the next man approach. We had a lot of depth, and we have a very good defensive staff. Anthony Barr coming in and just like icing on the cake. I'm actually, if somebody would have told me if he passed, listen, and we let Gregory go, you won't sign Barr, you won't sign me out of Atlanta, X, Y, and Z. Guess what? I would have been like, you know what? Let him go. Let Gregory go. Because what we have right now is versatility. We have shit that even the Eagles don't want to see. They don't want to see us in that deep. They don't want to. This is why you think they're going crazy right now, posting on social media about this. What do you think? Understand? You got to read the room. Before you was excited when you got AJ Brown, you was on cloud 9. The minute they signed Anthony Barr, now all of a sudden got posting about. Let's be honest. You're scared. You understand what's coming. Doomsday is coming. It's a scary story, and I understand that.
Okay,
it's really hard. Put the best of
Oregon. Where's the Oregon?
Nah, I ain't preaching yet. So all I'm saying is, we have a real hardcore defense, and I love every position. Can right now today, August 5th? Can we around the panel, and of course the fans watching? Can we say right now that we have a weakness?
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
A concern.
Whoa.
That spot. Kicker.
Yeah, hold on. That's a great. What we call this in the business is a segue. Because Spoon said, "Do we have a weakness?" And D-Town said, "What's a weakness in our defense?" Great segue, Spoon. Great segue. We got about 20 more minutes, and we'll get our guys up out of here. Because if not, I'll keep y'all here all night. I'll go over to space and whoever wants to rock with me in Vampire Life, I'll do it that way. Okay. So let's do it that way. First and foremost, I got Massey, the newest addition to Pick Six Sports, is in the building. The beard's coming back. Beard gang on point. Mass, thank you for coming along, sir.
Thank you for having me.
For those that don't know, Massey had to shave to get a job, and then he got the job and was like, "I'm never shaving again." So the only time in his entire tenure of working there that they will see him without a beard was this grow out period.
You got the best lighting system going on. I can barely see you.
Hey, and real quick, hey, look, well, he's in and out. And real quick, they told you to shave for something, and you was like,
yeah, they recently they told me to shave for a client interview, and they were like, "Hey, can you trim it down, shave it up a little bit?" And I was like, "Nah, not anymore. I'm in the job now, so I'm good. I'm not no more shaving."
Like this is discrimination policy.
Yes,
I'm tired of the beard oppression going on.
So here we go. Our guy D-Town says, "What's the weakness in our defense?" And Ryan Roberts, who's came through, he hit the link, he came through, and this is what Freestyle Friday is about. We have guests, and we love enjoying our guests and everything. But you know what? We let people that rock with us all the time to come up here and speak. For you, sir, Mr. Roberts, what is the weakness to the defense currently?
I don't know. I think it's always been our run stopping for sure.
Fair.
And I haven't really seen much in the way of adding to that or trying to fix that. I guess Anthony Barr. Who else did we signed a couple tackles, didn't we? Or drafted them.
Right. Yeah, you drafted Ridgeway. Yeah, you got Ridgeway in the building, and you re-signed Watkins from last year.
Yeah. So I think that would be our weakness right now, to be honest.
Okay. That's fair. Let me people here. Mass, who just joined the panel late. Appreciate you, brother. I know. He's on the West Coast, so he's literally like early for him.
It's early, man.
Yeah,
It's
we're
early out
up
here.
late. He's over here being, behind.
I'm over here too.
What's the weakness in the defense right now through 2 weeks of camp for you?
On the defense, is run
Yeah.
defense. It's
Okay.
it's 100% run defense. I mean, last year we saw it. I mean, the last couple of years we've been in the playoffs. The last 2 times we've been in the playoffs, we've gotten dashed on the ground, and we just haven't fixed it. We haven't addressed it. So last year we gave up 169 yards on the ground to the 49ers in the playoffs. That's unacceptable. You're not going to win games giving up that much time, allowing them to control the clock and control the game. You're just not going to win a lot of playoff games, period, when you're doing that. So I think that's still a weakness, but I do like what they have done with adding Ridgeway. I was a huge fan of Ridgeway. I know, Nix, you are as well. I had a 3rd round grade on him personally. We got him in the 5th, so that's a steal for me. And from what I've heard in camp, he's beasting it. So the only thing is he's not going directly up against Zach Martin every day, they're saying, but still he's beasting it, and he's even getting pushed. He's pushing the pocket back into the quarterback, which is something that he wasn't known for at Arkansas. So I have high expectations for him. Maybe not year 1 coming out and being this Pro Bowl All-Pro defensive tackle, but eventually growing into something really solid on that line. But right now, it's still got to be run defense right now until they can prove they can stop it.
10-4. Hey, Mo, weakness on the defense right now for you?
Yeah, it's got to be defensive tackle. I don't think there's any other right answer. I'm with you guys there because I like where we're at defensive end. I mean, could be Ben Williams, Fowler, Armstrong, so I'm good there. The same at linebacker. I was worried about depth at linebacker a lot. They got Barr, so, check mark there. I am super impressed as to how we all collectively agree that the defensive backfield is okay, because that's not a feeling we are used to in Cowboys Nation, I believe. But we are all confident about the cornerbacks. We are confident about the safeties. So I do believe the only correct answer for this question is, the defensive tackles up front. Because for one, I am a sucker for, throwing 4 defensive ends out there like the Cowboys will do in several locations. I love that. But there will be situations in which you will not be able to do that. And those are the ones that I'm concerned about. Maybe the 3rd and 1s, the 4th and inches, and all of those. Those are the ones that concern me.
I mean, think about in our division too. You look at the Eagles; they have Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave. They just drafted Jordan Davis, and then in the 6th round they got Noah Ellis. Noah Ellis and Jordan Davis combined are like 700 pounds, literally. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's so when you're talking about 3rd and 1s, like Mo mentioned, or goal line defense, like, they're going to be able to rotate giant human beings in there. I do want to give this just as a counterpoint because I'm curious to see where you guys stand. I think it's kind of going along the same lines. So I don't think you guys are wrong at all. I think run defense is definitely the biggest question, specifically one tech, because until we see Bohanna step up, or we see Ridgeway in action, or we see Watkins continue to progress, I don't know that any of us can say our one techs are where we want them to be right now. I know we got Barr, and I'm excited about the signing, and I know it seems like everybody here is too. Are we really that confident in our linebackers right now, though? And I'm just bringing it up because obviously Micah, check, we don't have to discuss him. But LVE, a history of injury concerns. He's had back and neck issues. Last year, he was able to stay healthy, but he really wasn't an impact player aside from a handful of games at the end of the season. He's having a good camp, to be fair. But does anybody really feel confident in LVE? Anthony Barr, former All-Pro, that's what we're banking on, that he getting back with George Edwards and having the Dan Quinn connection, not connection, but Dan Quinn, fitting him from a schematic standpoint, that he's going to show some semblance of what he used to be. But he's had a lot of injuries the last 2 years. He's missed a lot of games. Then we have Jabril Cox that we're all excited about. And last year, he was the steal of the draft, right? We would have been happy with him in round 2, got him in round 4, great. But then he played 9 snaps of defense and got hurt. So even at linebacker, a position I feel much better about now that we have Barr, I don't really feel confident in our linebackers still even having Barr. I still feel like that's a position, if we could add another piece, I would love to do that.
I think it's better than last year. I think linebackers are much better than last year.
I think Barr is better than Keanu Neal at that linebacker spot.
I agree with
the only thing that I have I've heard through the grapevine, through some Vikings people, is that Barr has a degenerative knee issue. That's what's kind of dragging him down, and why he wasn't really as high value signing as going into free agency as a lot of people thought he would be. He's got some issues with the knee, and that's what's part of the injuries that Professor O has been talking about. So hopefully he's feeling good. Hopefully that knee doesn't cause too many issues this year, but that's something that we'll have to wait and see about.
Yeah,
So recapping linebacker, we have LVE, hurt guy. Anthony Barr, hurt guy. Jabril Cox, hurt last year and in college, hurt guy.
Whoa. But LV wasn't hurt last year.
But he's been a hurt guy. He's
he's been a hurt guy. But he's been a healthy guy too. Well, maybe he's been both though.
He's 50-50, I think.
No, he's been both.
2 years healthy, 2 years injured.
Right, and he was hurt in college, though. That was one of the things.
I don't care about college.
Drafted him as
the Cowboys.
So I'm just saying that's a guy with a history of injuries.
Right, but he's also had a history of being healthy. I'm just saying, if we're being honest about the guy, he's been healthy. He's been hurt. That's fair. I'm
so if we're banking on which one it is with a mixed bag, it's still a scary proposition.
Sure, flip a coin. So, I'm with that. That's fair. Flip a coin. I'm with you.
I kind of agree with Professor Owen in terms of like the depth of linebacker behind Micah Parsons on the contingency that we consider Jaron Kearse a pure safety because he is sort of like that hybrid role. I think if you factor him into the depth, you feel a little more better about the position. I think if they use Van Der Esch, Barr, and Cox purely as rotational guys for specific reasons, Cox as a coverage guy, Leighton Banders as a run stuffer, Anthony Barr as a pass rusher, those kind of things, you feel a little better rather than having them be 3-down linebackers. I think Professor, I think you made a good point on that in terms of like
just bring Jalen back then.
Why?
We're talking about last year and this year. I'm just bring Jalen back then. What are we talking about?
I'd rather bank on the health of Jabril Cox than the fact that Jalen Smith's speed is what it once was.
So I said was we're better depth-wise right now than we were last year.
Right. On the contingency, we count Jaron Kearse into the depth. Is Jaron Kearse counted in the depth, or we just those four players?
No, because Kearse wasn't counted last year. Kearse wasn't in the linebacker discussion at this point last year. We're talking about the linebackers last year at this point in time versus the linebackers we have right now.
Okay. So
the linebacker depth is better right now than it was last year.
I think that's part of his thing is Nick's is he's saying if you count Kearse this year into the linebacker, then it adds more.
It doesn't matter though. If we're talking about last year right now, guys.
I know. That's why I'm saying. He's saying last year you didn't have Kearse.
I'm with you.
If you add Kearse, then it's good. Yeah.
So Micah, Neal, LVE, and Jalen last year. Parsons, Cox, LVE, Barr this year were better this year than last year, just on those four guys alone. Then I agree. But I have agreement with Professor O that really we have a bunch of guys who do have injury bugs attached to their name. And he's right. The position ain't necessarily solidified all around, especially if you have to bet on more than half your depth on guys that have either neck issues or knee issues or whatever it is at a position that is just as likely to get contacted as the defensive lineman. So I think Matt touched on a really good point there. Even though I think personally the nose tackle is the biggest weakness because I think we're deep at 3 technique. We even have edge rushers that can play 3 technique. We don't have a really pure all around 1 tech that we know of just yet. I think right now Carlos Watkins is probably our best 1 tech we had to bet on. We're hoping someone like Bohanna or Ridgeway we all like. I don't know where Professor O stands in terms of Bohanna this year as opposed to last year. But I mean, it's not just run defense. It's not just defensive tackle. It's the 1 tech specifically because I think we have a lot of really good 3 techs. And I think honestly, if Neville Gallimore can play 1 tech, I'd like to see that. But I don't really see it happen. At least not.
He's beefed up some. I mean, for what it's worth.
Osa and Kelsey all gained weight. So I mean, like I'd like to see Osa and Neville Gallimore out there a lot, just because I think there are 2 most talented pure defensive tackles. I don't know if anyone disagrees with that.
That's been our starting defensive line, by the way. That's been our starting defensive line is Neville at 1 tech. At training camp, at least every single time Neville's been out there at 1 tech to start.
I love it. Yeah. I love it, Shane. Talk to me. Give me that sexy lineup on that knee line real quick. I'm with it.
Well, I got different ideas for their run defense and in their pass defense. In their passing offense, I want to see Osa at the 3 tech every single time. I'd love to see Gallimore with the 1. I'd like to see a rotation of Fowler and Williams on the right side. You can keep Tank on the right. In run defense, give me Chauncey Golson at the 3 tech. Give me at the one, I guess give me either Ridgeway or Watkins, whoever's like beat up the most. And on the outside guys, I guess Dorrance is probably your best run defensive right edge if Ghost inside at 3-tech right, and then DeMarcus has to be on the left side. I know I don't know, Mo, not Mo, sorry. Oh, is the Dorrance grade better as a run defensive end than Fowler did last year?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
then yeah, that's what I wanted the right edge then.
And at camp, they've shown not a lot, but we've seen glimpses of Micah at edge with Sam Williams at 3-tech and Osa at 1-tech, but really kind of split in that 2-3
Mo
spot.
loves edge rushers that can go inside.
I do. That's my thing. Well, like Mo mentioned too, like that's my game too. If I can get those 4 defensive edge rushers all lined up at the same time, that NASCAR, whatever verbiage you want to give it, I don't care what you call it. Yes, that's my language. Like, talk to me about that. Like, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
My philosophy in football is like, be as aggressive as possible. Blitz as often as you feel that you can.
Yes.
Go for
Good
every
question.
interception that you feel like you can, because the difference in you getting an interception and getting beat for yardage, the interception matters more than the yards.
Good
the
question
sack
there.
matters more than them running for 5 yards because you abandon your spot. So like that's my mentality. So yes, if I can get that lineup often, that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Good question here from Toxic. Will Dallas carry 2 1-techs in Bohanna and Ridgeway? Space? What do you think? Will they carry both of them? I guess if in that scenario, I guess Watkins will be out, right?
I saw Mo make a face right now, so
yeah. So I'm just going to throw it out there. Well, Space, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like you kind of pick it. Me personally, I don't think so. I just don't see Dallas doing it. I mean, I could be wrong here. It's just because you have a bunch of guys, not trying to be like this, but like it's really you have like a bunch of guys in rotation. You're just trying to figure out how this shit's going to work. That's really what's happening right now. That's why it's one of your biggest concerns. And you can, I know with linebacker, it's one thing where you're figuring out, okay, how is this going to work?
Yeah, linebacker better this year than last year. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, but I'm just kidding. I agree, but I would say for Dallas, yeah, there you go. You need to figure out how you're going to configure this line. I've always been a big proponent of you get that one guy and you stick to him, because I'm not a big fan of this rotation bullshit. Just because it's like it gets on my nerves. Because Rod Marinelli pissed me off, so I'm sorry.
Jeez, Space, you're so salty.
Players get hurt though.
What's that?
Players get hurt though. You need
Oh,
rotation.
no. I understand. I know. I get it. I'm not trying to say like you don't need a rotation. I get
Right.
it.
The offensive
But I
line.
mean, specifically to the question, Space, will they
So
carry
Space
Bohanna
then
and
wants to
Ridgeway?
rotate tackles,
No,
rotate his guards, get him fresh bodies.
All of them.
Listen,
Yeah, both of them all.
listen. That shit what happened last year. I nearly had PTSD, and I don't want to see no rotation. Like,
So-
no, they won't carry both. No.
They won't. Okay, Robert, are they going to carry Bohanna and Ridgeway?
That one I'm not 100% for sure on, really. I mean, I've never really been much of a defensive guy, but I mean.
All right, we're muting you right now. Never mind. Moving on. I'm joking. Go ahead, Robert. I'm just joking, Robert. Go ahead.
I mean, I live up here in Washington in Seahawks country, so I watch the Seahawks win their Super Bowl and everything.
They won
And
with defense. How you not a defensive guy? They won with defense, Robert.
That's what I'm coming around though. I'm coming around.
Okay.
I'm coming back around.
Don't be doing that.
Like the first year I bought the Jalen Smith jersey. This year I need to get me some Diggs or like some Parsons or something, because
Okay.
because the 54 is gone. So
Fair enough. All right. Well, the 54 is not gone, right? That's
Sam
Williams.
Sam Williams.
The 54 is back.
A really bad
Sam
history
Williams.
lately of 54.
It is what it is. The only 8 and 22 are sacred. Everything else, who cares? With that being said, really quickly, yes or no? Mass, are they going to carry both Bohanna and Ridgeway, in your opinion?
I think yes, but if they don't, it might be Bohanna, because I haven't really heard anything from Bohanna this training camp. I've been hearing a lot from Ridgeway. I haven't heard a lot from Bohanna, but I think they do. I think Tristan Hill might be gone, but not. I know it's not 1-tech, but I think that might be the DT that's left out.
10-4. Mo? So we got a dog going ham.
I think not. I think not. I think one of them is gone, and I think that the Cowboys are probably higher on both Tristan Hill and Carlos Watkins that the fan base is.
10-4 Spoon, they carrying both or no?
No.
Okay. All right. So, boy, it sounds like a bow's gone. Shane, they carrying both or not?
See, I'm trying to do the math in my head because I can't see him keeping less than 10 or 11 defensive linemen, edges included. But the problem is that they have edge rushers
that can move them.
Tackle, and so the rotation of it is going to factor into that. And so I think the first half of the question, will they keep 2 1-techs? Yes. Will it be Richmond Bohanna? I think Watkins will be one of them.
Okay.
I think whoever wins that battle will be the second one. And if I had to guess just early on, I think Ridgeway coming out of college is better than Bohanna coming out of college.
Okay.
So I give him a slight edge early, but we haven't seen him play a game yet. But I don't see them keep it 3. I'll put it that way.
Fair enough. Professor O, they keep them both?
You're going to hate my answer. No, because I don't think either one of them makes the team. I don't.
Wait, did you just say Ridgeway's not making this team?
I don't think either one makes the team. I don't.
He's a Razorback. He's a Razorback. That's what Jerry was.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
That's the alumni network, son.
By the way.
Nick's
so
Ridgeway
like, 2008. We drafted
will
Felix
be on
Jones
this
in 2008, and then didn't draft another Razorback. So that like Arkansas Jerry Jones thing like doesn't really exist. I know that he loves the team, but we don't draft probably based on that. And again, think about it. So we have 3 techs, right? So we know Sam Williams has played 3 tech. We know that Chauncey Golson has bulked up to play 3 tech. We know that Neville Gallimore and Osa are 3 techs. We have a lot of guys that can play 3 tech, right? So you're thinking, well, surely you have to have a 1 tech. Watkins, I think, will make the team. He's a 1 tech. Yeah. Neville Gallimore, every single time the first team defense has been on the field, has been your 1 tech. There's your 2 1 techs right there. Then you have 3 other guys, if not more, that can play 3 tech. And like Mo mentioned, Tristan Hill is having a strong camp. Don't worry about that one time that Tyler Smith did what he's supposed to do and pancaked him. Tristan Hill has been very, very active at camp. I know that's not going to be a popular one, but I do believe Ridgeway will not make the team. He will be on the practice squad. They may even call him up a few games.
Ridgeway will not make it to the practice squad.
I'm just Nick's out of the room.
Just wait. I hear that. I don't think the market is. I don't think the market is going to be as high for him as you think.
I can get behind O's. I can get behind O's reasoning there. I think it's pretty solid.
I just wanted to lay it out, so I didn't want you to think it was a hot take.
I'm very hot take because
it's not. I gave you a full rationale.
I know. I get it. I just don't agree with it. Like Ridgeway's Ridgeway's the 1 tech running with the 2s right now.
Nick,
so
you just missed science just happening right in front of your eyes.
Well, tell him how
I listened. I just didn't agree with it.
He brought up a good point though, just because traditionally the offense will keep 25 players, defense will keep 25 players, especially because the other 3. And so if it was to go 25-25 again, you got to think, can they go light at defensive tackle to compensate for the secondary linebacker and all that other thing and all that other stuff? Because we have so many versatile guys at edge rusher, at linebacker. Micah Parsons can play edge or inside if he wanted to. So can Anthony Barr. Chauncey Golson can play inside. So I think, Professor, you're on the right track.
You guys hear that?
Maybe you're on the right track.
I'm willing to make a wager right now.
Anybody want a wing bet?
I can't bet.
Anybody want a wing bet on Ridgeway on the 53?
Sure, let's go. Done.
I'm with that.
Wing bet?
Wings. That's you don't believe either?
No,
he's
I'm
with
just
you.
saying.
I didn't know. He said I just asked a question. He said I'm with that. I'm like, oh, hold up. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I'll take Ridgeway.
So I like Bob Heck says, Ridgeway definitely making the team. Massey's kind of on the same page. I could see that. I understand why people are excited about him. I'm just telling you, being a 5th round pick across the landscape of the NFL does not secure you a draft. Just because you were drafted does not mean you have a spot on the roster. And when we talk about the defensive tackle depth getting impacted by edge rushers moving in, playing that, those 3 techs have to go somewhere. And they're going to play 1 tech because you're going to pass the ball a lot more in the NFL than they run the ball. So those guys are more valuable than your run stoppers. That's why big 1 techs don't go high in the draft unless you have a Jordan Davis or those rare unicorns. Aside from that, those are 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. So I just feel like it's going to come down to that. So
I agree with that, but here's the opposite side of that coin is that I agree with you that the 1 techs are highly undervalued in the NFL today, just because it's a passing league and everything like that. But the Achilles heel, like we've been talking about, of the Cowboys defense is their run defense, and they've been gashed, and they know that, and they want big, nasty people in that line. That's what they were talking about, physicality, and that is John Ridgeway. And John Ridgeway, and like I said, I had a 3rd round grade on him. I know, but I think he dropped because of what you were saying, because the one tech isn't valued like that. But you're going to have that guy, and all the guys you guys are talking about, even Carlos Watkins, he's not a true one tech. He can play one tech, sure, but he's not a true one tech. And so we don't have that guy who has that defensive end true one tech flexibility. None of those guys. They're more of more pass rushers that are flipping back and forth. So you're going to have to keep either Bohanna or Ridgeway as your true one tech when you come in for those big packages when you need to stop a run play.
Well, sounds like
and to be
one position guys.
I'm sorry, was that
guys who can play multiple positions? They don't want to keep just guys who can play just one tech. They want guys who can play both spots. They want edge rushers who can go inside and out. It sounds like that, like all the defensive players have to be able to play more than one spot, more than one role. Otherwise, they're considered really just like a niche player. They don't really. It seems like they don't really want to keep any niche players. Those are practice squad spots. I could see at least. I don't necessarily agree that Ridgeway doesn't make the team. I don't see a way that they don't, just because. I mean, we'll see what happens when they actually get actual game time. But I mean, Matt does bring up a good point that like all these other 3 techs and edge rushers that have been playing inside have been real good camps so far. That it might make some of these bigger defensive tackles that can't go away from the one tech expendable. And
you see the reason why we can't stop the run for the last 5-6 years.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's their
no. Yeah, no, I get it. That you're 100% right. That is their preference, and that's why we're screaming for run stopping.
I don't know that that's fair though, just because we've only had 1 year of Dan Quinn. So I don't think we can put the sins of other defensive coordinators and their philosophy on Dan Quinn, because I thought we were better at stopping the run overall last year than we were in previous years.
We were until Brett Urban left.
Yeah. And Brett Urban is that one tech run stopper with very little pass rush. So when he got hurt,
if you look at his body type too, though. So when you're saying one techs need to be this big nasty guy, I get that Urban is a road grader, but he wasn't a huge one tech. Urban's like 300 pounds, right? He's just super tall.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily. You don't have to be a huge 320-pound guy. It's just a big, strong guy who can clog up a hole, take on double teams.
Well, Osa can do that. He's 290.
BJ, Max's question real quick.
Yep.
If last year's defense was a rating scale of 1 to 5, let's say there was a 1, what do you rank this year's defense for what you see right now compared to last year? If last year's 1, what's this year's?
I'll let y'all all go. I'm just whenever I can go. Y'all go ahead and answer that.
1.
I'm not Mo. You and answer. I'm just waiting so I can go.
Yeah, Mo, you hadn't talked in a while.
Go right ahead, Mo. I'm just going so I can.
Can you shoot that a question again, though, Spoonie? I'm sorry, I was reading some of the comments here.
So again, last year's defense. Let's say on a rating scale 1 to 5. Let's say last year was 1. Where do you
1
rank
being the best or worst? Let's be clear.
1 being the worst. Where do you see him now this year for right now?
Oh, I think they will be better. Like numerically, I don't know, but I do think the Cowboys' defense is poised to be better even.
I'm just doing the Twitter Space joint here. You know, I'm just whenever y'all go ahead answer the questions, guys. I'll wait. I'm good.
That's Owen.
Anybody else want to answer his question? No, nobody.
2.
Owen has his hand up.
2. All right, 2.
No, I'm just messing with Nick's.
Yeah, I'd say 1. It's about the same.
1. About the same.
Yeah.
About the same. Okay. All right. Look. At the tail end of things, we literally, contextually, this draft was about being more gritty and better than what they were last year. That's what we heard. So when we get into those realms of things, certain guys, I guess he's a 5th round pick, but these things matter because they want to be more rough. Like last year, the term was we needed dogs in the draft. We went and got dogs in the draft. This year, after we lost in the playoffs, it was, guess what? We need tough guys. We need meat and potato guys. And they went and did that in this draft. There's no way on God's green earth to me, and it sounds great. Hey, look, Osa, man, Ridgeway, Golston, they bulked up this weight. They moved around, and they can do all these great things and whatever. It's fantastic. It's not, to me, and this is the key point. And O's right. Brett
You hear
Urban,
that, guys?
what he did.
O's right. Thank you.
Yeah, O's right when it comes to Brett Urban. He's not built like Ridgeway. He's not built like Ridgeway. Taller guy, over 300 pounds, right? But he wasn't built like him. But they do the same thing. This defense misses that.
Mm-hmm.
They could do all these extravagant things and whatnot with the front seven, the line, the whole nine. But you have to have a guy. We have not been good consistently stopping the run for years. And at times we have stretches, we see what happens. And then when a particular guy misses, it isn't that. So look, I do agree. Bohan has a chance. Absolutely. If his pad level gets right, with the size that he has and everything, that could push Ridgeway down to, and they put him on the practice squad or different things. But to me, in my opinion, going into this, Ridgeway or Bohan, one of those guys, I don't think both. Back to the original question. No, there's no way both make this team. But I damn sure think one does. Yeah. For sure. Absolutely, one does. And we'll see who that guy is, because they need that guy on this line. That's the missing piece, because Urban's gone. I was big on bringing Urban. I hate that he got hurt last year. I'd have been absolutely fine for them bringing back Urban and not drafting Ridgeway in the 5th round personally. But you lost him. You had to replace him. I don't care who it is. Is it Bohana? Cool. Is it Ridgeway? Cool. My spirit animal. But either one, you had to replace Urban in this defense, because I go back to what Dan Quinn did. All the guys he brought in last year, there was a lot of differences of, Watkins is a body guy. Curse, he's a special teams guy. All the guys that he signed in free agency, nobody thought they were going to be here, but they all had a role, and they mattered to this defense. And I think this is the same thing now when we talk about the one tech and what's going on now. Sure, they're not going to play in, we're talking about the NASCAR packages, and we're getting funky and they pass the ball and everything. I understand all of that, but you have to have that true one tech. And I don't think they're just going to roll with Watkins and nobody else and think Gallimer's going to walk through the door. That's what I think. That's all. Neither here nor there. I think Bohana or Ridgeway makes the team. Who's that going to be? Time will tell throughout camp. But I think one of those two guys will make the squad. Neither here nor there. But it's 2 hours in the building, 2:06. We're going way too long. This has been a fun time tonight. As always, A to Z Sports came through and infiltrated our guy Shane back-to-back 2 weeks. Our guy Mo in the building. Mo's over here as I'm reading these things. And I'm trying to, hey, it's going a little long. I'm sorry. I'm Mo, if you don't know, first of us being on camera. Hey, man, I'm long. I'm sorry. My fault.
Yeah.
My fault,
All
Mo.
good, all good.
My fault, Mo. Our guy Robert showed up. Man, Robert, appreciate you. You always rock with us, man. Thank you for coming through the building, man, and coming through and kicking with us, throwing the headset. Space, absolutely. You're always around. Space, friend of the show. Our new guy on Pick 6, Massey in the building. Can't wait to get your written content back up again. Spoonie, yeah. Brooklyn's in the house. And I'm looking at Spoonie right now. I'm sure the plants are kicking in. I know. Look at Spoonie. Yeah, see?
I'm good. He about to be asleep.
Yeah, you already know. Hey, it is what it is, man. Real quick, let me roll out the red carpet for everybody in the building. Robert, while you're here, if you have anything to plug, man, tell the people where they can find you, come follow you. You're good to go. Go right ahead, sir.
Nothing really. I'm always in the Facebook group. I'm talking trash to everybody in there, because they want to say, this person sucks or that person sucks. And I always bring out the numbers and they shut up. So, but I'm always around.
Fair enough. So. Space. I know you got a plug. Go right ahead, sir.
Yes. If you guys haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, Space Cowboy 17 on YouTube. Been trying to do daily content for you guys because of the whole training camp and stuff like that. And, we're trying to hit that 10K because we all know it's going to goddamn happen if that happens. For those that are unaware, me and Nick's agreed to a bet. If we hit 10K, I have to eat 2 of the world's hottest chips, and he gets to live stream, do like a Hot Ones type of style.
I get to pair him with questions. It's going to be so fun.
Whether it pisses me off or not, it's going to be fun. You can also follow me on Twitter with the handle right there. Yeah, if you haven't been subscribed to me, you're doing yourself a disservice, and I mean that honestly. So please make sure to go check out my channel.
Also, Space dropped the video. It went live during our show. So once you get done with that,
yes,
check out his channel and watch it out.
There it is.
There you go. There you
There
go.
it is.
got you,
Look,
Space.
yeah, look.
I got the Space notification gang. I got it.
Hey, he's got the look. He's notified. Look, he's subbed and he's hit the bell.
Listen, if you guys are
2 clicks, that's it. Just and you're done.
listen, when people ask you to like and subscribe, it takes less than a second to do. And when they say it makes a massive difference, like I'm telling you, the algorithm works in mysterious ways, and that helps.
Yeah.
So please make sure to like.
That part. Man, I'm so happy that you're feeling better. Man, it's been so much fun rocking with you this round. For sure. Anytime you do something for me, let me know. I got you on the back end. I definitely want to get you back on this side. Mo, I appreciate your knowledge. I've definitely tuned to the shows over there, A to Z. Hold it down in the PM. By all means, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
First and foremost, thank you for having me. This has been very fun, man. I wanted to join last week, but things work like that sometimes. But hey, you can find me on ADC Sports Dallas. We're doing great stuff. I'm excited to be a part of that project. You get Skywalker Steel in the mornings. You get myself in the night. So make sure you subscribe to ADC Sports Dallas and check out the website as well, adcsports.com/Dallas, because we've got several writers, Chain here, Cole Patterson as well. A lot of people just working hard to give you quality Cowboys coverage. So make sure you check that out. And the film room. The film room is up there as well.
Yeah.
And that's been fun. Shout out to James Foster. He's been doing a great job on the ADC Sports Film Room channel.
Mo didn't mention it, but he just announced yesterday on the show that he's now full-time with A to Z.
I saw that.
So,
I saw that.
Well
hey,
deserved.
man, light it up for our guy, Mo. Light it
Thank
up.
you, man.
Big
Thank
grinding
you.
to getting there. Shout out to
deserved.
Mo. Real
Thank
quick,
you.
Bob Heck went from the Facebook earlier. He's now live and direct over here in the YouTube. Y'all know the drill, man. Light up the chat. Light up the chat for our guy Mo going full time, and light up the chat for Bob from over here to the YouTube as well. Light that thing up, Mo, real quick. And on top of that, hey man, real quick, hey, that shirt. One more time for the people in the back that didn't hear you earlier.
Primero, there you go.
Ok, primero Cowboys, también lo pueden ver los viernes completamente Cowboys en español, viernes en Facebook, en Primero Cowboys y en YouTube.
Man, I'm gonna clip that. I love that. Let's go.
Thank you, man.
Blessing.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip
Thank
that.
you.
I love that.
Appreciate it.
Hey man, hey brother, hey, boneless wings. Look, be clear. Boneless wings are just saucy nugs. I'm sorry. Look, and I love all chicken. Be clear. I love all chicken. They're saucy nuggets. If you're talking about wings,
because he wants to put me on the spot, man. Toxic Tom just wants to burn me with that question.
Hold on.
This is the debate in Cowboy Nation right now.
I don't want to look. There's been this question before, Mo. Where were you at on this before I answer?
I think that
Oh shit!
I will use more or less the I don't want to use the phrase
Mo,
that
I'm just
use
gonna
in
warn
prime
you, tread
time.
lightly, because we had a Twitter space where somebody brought up fast food and Nick's mentioned Arby's being underrated.
Oh,
we
my
were
God.
on
Yo,
for
I love
2.5
Arby's, bro.
hours talking about fast food.
Arby's is fantastic.
I love Arby's.
Be careful how you word this answer.
He'd be
Mo.
getting oysters
Okay,
from
no,
Long
this is
John
perfect.
Silver's, man.
Not
Okay,
oysters.
that's a problem.
No.
Clams,
I didn't
sorry,
say oysters.
clams.
There you go, fried clams. Go ahead,
All right,
Mo.
go ahead, Mo.
Okay, this is perfect though, because what I was going to say is that boneless are 100% the way to go. But in order to avoid World War III here, I will say Arby's is the #1 fast food place ever. So how about that conflict resolution, Nix, right there on the spot?
Fair. Hey, here's the thing.
That's why he went full time. That professionalism.
I love
exactly,
Shane's face right now.
Look, be clear. I like boneless wings. Look, or boneless chicken, or
It's
saucy
boneless
nugs.
wings. Just say it. No, just say it.
Saucy nugs. I like saucy nugs. Look, when I go to Buffalo Wild Wings, some days I'm like, you know what? I don't want the traditional. I'm gonna take. Let me get the mild or the medium buffalo, and maybe some honey barbecue, boneless. Especially when we do the buy one get one. The BOGOs over there. But in general, I mean, traditional wings are a little bit better for me. But either way, I do like. But look, I do not disparage any chicken. I don't care. You give me chicken, I'll eat it. Like literally, I've had the question asked to me before: if it's chicken or steak, which one? I was like, oh, goodbye steak. Give me chicken. This is too versatile. I can do too much with it.
Nope, can't go
I can do too much with it. Sorry, that's fair. That's fair. Look, and I love steak, but I can do more with chicken and have it in different ways than steak. But neither here nor there. We're going to move on. Shane, by all means, sir, go right ahead.
Well, Mo kind of touched that. You can find all my writing and all on A to Z Sports Dallas, and you can also catch me on Mo's YouTube chat where I come in a lot of times. I kind of bug him while he's talking along with Professor O, as a matter of fact, is there a lot of times.
I troll him and change my YouTube handle all the time. I was on Professor O's burner account earlier this week, taking Toxic Tom's burner account. So I gave myself my own.
All right, now as soon as we clip this, we shut this down. I'm going over there. Eddie O, I know you're up there on the West Coast, and
he's speaking the truth though.
No.
He's just speaking facts.
This is look. In-N-Out is trash. Be clear.
Just speaking knock.
In-N-Out is trash.
Both of them are trash, bro.
Whataburger is just Burger King disguised.
No, that's so wrong. That's so wrong. Also,
facts.
Arby's is not basura. Sorry, no, it is not. If you ain't ate it, I don't want to hear it.
Have you had their mock sticks, bro? They're
What is Arby's? What are they selling? They have mozzarella sticks and tacos and roast beef.
There you go.
They have the meat, sir. They have the meat.
They have the diarrhea, sir.
That's not true. That is so not true.
They have the Taco Bell of burgers and sandwiches, man.
Real quick. Hey, Taco Bell is actually the healthiest fast food that you can eat. It's out there. Go look it up. Go Google it.
Who said that?
It's out there. It's the truth. It's the healthiest fast food you can eat.
Bro, they were busted a couple years ago by the FDA or whatever.
Yo, I'd rather eat
30% meat.
Bro,
I'd rather eat White Castle than Taco Bell.
I think I'm telling you, if anybody listen, I think the pressing question is someone has to ask the front office, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, what their favorite fast food restaurants are, and let's just grill them on there.
No, hold on, wait. Jerry's out here at 7-Eleven getting wine. I don't want to hear it.
If you watch Hard Knocks, it's McGriddles that he's
with salt, with the salt.
Yeah. With the salt, yeah.
But
they're sponsored by Whataburger, so that's probably his favorite.
Fair. With that being said, guys, y'all know the drill. Pick Six Sports every Wednesday for sure, 8:30 p.m. Central. Come through, catch me, Professor O, Spoonie, and our girl Mariella delivering the content when it comes to the Cowboys. We run a space prior. Me and Spoon be in the building 6:30 every Friday for sure on Twitter. It's a happy hour space starting at 7:30. Although after this week leading up to this show, I'm just going to stretch my legs out more, guys. I'm about to push that to about 6:30 Central Time. It is what it is. But of course, at 9:30 p.m. Central, we run the happy hour for about 2 hours. I have 2 hours and 60 minutes tonight, and we got great people like A to Z Sports in the building. Our guy Space in the building. First and foremost, we got Massey back up in here again. Love Massey, and of course, our guy Robert came through.
Shout out to DMV,
and DMV, and shout out to DMV as well, who came through and kicked it with us. So yeah. Man, guys, yes, I'm coming for the smoke because it's Friday and I'm old and I just want to talk Cowboys. I have nothing else to do, so it is what it is. So yeah, we're going to clip this. Give me 10 minutes. It's 11:50 midnight Central Time. I'll launch the space, and Eddie, we're definitely gonna get the smoke on that slander that you put out here on this food. Appreciate everybody as always. Y'all be safe. Peace.